reminder of some of those faces who have lifted Sam Maguire.
Yes, 69,000 people here at Croke Park on what is an absolutely perfect afternoon. And we're waiting for the captains to make their appearance. People watching this match everywhere and anywhere. I've had requests to mention people in Luxembourg, in the Lebanon. The army are watching it out there. We hope you all have a great day, every part of the States and so on. Paddy O'Shea coming out here among the captains. It's an interesting change, I suppose, in a way, because we're so used to Jubilee teams coming out. Barry Tompkins there, Paddy O'Rourke as well, and all of the other people that we're so familiar with. John O'Leary behind Tony Hanaho here, and Tony is going to be the #1 captain. But we've had the Jubilee teams. Now it's a nice change, I suppose, to see the captains of all the great All-Ireland winning teams down the years. It does underline and emphasize that it's a day for winners.
We start with the years 1976 and 77 because Tony Hanaho was the captain of the victorious Dublin team in both those years. Tony from the St. Vincent's Club played at centre-half forward both years.
Yes, one of Heffo's heroes. What a great centre-half forward he was.
In 1978 then, Kerry were captained by Dennis Ogie-Moran. Dennis, a member of the Meath Club, had the unique distinction of winning 8 All-Ireland medals, all in the same position, centre-half forward.
Well, they used to say whenever he played number 11, they never lost.
Supremacy continued with Tim Kennelly leading them. From the Listowel Emmets Club, Tim played at centre-half back.
Great player, and he's got a couple of great sons as well now.
In 1980, Ger Power from Austin Stacks Tralee was the next Kerry captain. Ger was then right half forward, having previously been at half back.
Very versatile player.
In 1981 next, Kerry retained the title with Jimmy Deenahan from Finoog, the captain, at right fullback. That was the first 4 in a row since the great Kerry team of 1932.
The fans enjoying it.
In the 1982 final, Offaly took over, and they were captained by Richie Connor at centre-half forward. He was a member of the Noted family from the Welsh Island Club.
No 5 in a row that year for Kerry.
Tommy Drum was Dublin's captain when they won the championship in 1983 after 6 years. He was from the Whitehall Columkills Club and he played at centre-half back.
One of the most consistent backs around.
In centenary year 1984, Kerry were captained by Ambrose O'Donovan, who played at midfield. Ambrose was from the Gunneave Gwilla Club.
And he was better known as Rosie.
As Kerry retained the title in 1985, they were led by Paddy O'Shea from the Gaeltacht Club. By then, Paddy had moved back to right fullback.
I think he had other ambitions for this afternoon.
In 1986, Tommy Doyle was the captain when Kerry completed 3 in a row. From the Honest Gaul Club, Tommy was right half back.
He was a very fine captain indeed.
New names on the Sam Maguire Cup in 1987 when Meath were captained by their fullback Mick Lyons from Summerhill. It was Meath's first triumph in 20 years.
He looks so lean, so fit. Met him earlier. He's in great form.
And having got their hands on the cup after so long, Meath held on to it in 1988. Their captain then was Joe Castles, the centre-half forward from Navan O'Mahony.
It was a final that went to 2 matches.
On to 1989 and Dennis Allen of the Nemo Ranger Club, captain Cork, but unfortunately Dennis can't be with us today. So in 1990, the year of Cork's double, with Larry Tompkins captaining the footballers, centre half forward, Larry's club is Castlehaven.
Larry, who did his cruciate during that particular final in 1990.
1991, Paddy O'Rourke captained the Down team that brought the first Ulster triumph in 23 years. Paddy is from the Burren club and played at right half back.
Defeating Meath that year.
Donegal in 1992 kept the championship in the Northern Province, and Anthony Malloy was their captain, a midfielder. He was from the Ardra club.
Donegal's one and only triumph.
Ulster's dominance continued in 1993 when Henry Downey captained Derry to success. Henry from the Lavey club played at centre half back.
They all seem too young to be coming out as Jubilee captains.
Down returned in 1994, captained by DJ Kane. His position was left half back and he played with the Newry Shamrocks.
Down with this marvellous record in All-Ireland finals.
In 1995, Dublin's title-winning team was captained by John O'Leary from the Balbriggan O'Dwyer's club.
It took a while to come, but Dublin did triumph.
And
John was
the first
captain.
time in 22 years for a goalkeeper to captain the All-Ireland champions. Next, 1996, and it was Meath's turn again, captained this time by Tommy Dowd.
Just listen to the cheer. Not too many people expected it that year.
Tommy was another centre half forward, and he was from the Dundee club. When Kerry regained the championship in 1997, Liam Hassett was yet another captain playing at centre half forward. Liam's club is Lone Rangers from Kilorgan.
And Kerry were the team of the year that particular season.
1998 brought the championship to Galway after a lapse of 32 years. And their team was captained by Ray Silk, but as you can imagine, Ray has other matters on his mind in the dressing room at this moment.
He's one of today's substitutes.
In 1999, Meath regained the title with full forward Graham Geraghty, the captain.
Looked very calm, seemed very calm when I spoke to him a little while back.
Town club, and as you can imagine, he's busy at this moment also in the dressing room. And finally, last year's champions were Kerry, who were captained by Seamus Moynihan, the fullback. Seamus is a member of the Glenflesh club.
One of the great players of our time.
So Cordia once again let us acclaim the men who captained the All-Ireland champions over the past 25 years.
So the winning captains take the applause, Mick Dunn making the introductions, and we're now just minutes away from when the teams will be coming out of the field for this latest All-Ireland final, the 112th All-Ireland football final. Joe Castle's there on the left-hand side, more of the Meath people as well, plenty of Kerry involvement as you would expect. Back to Tony Hanahu and Ogie Moran on the left. I think they were all given a most enthusiastic welcome here by a very appreciative audience. Larry Tompkins there, just recently installed as Cork manager for the next 2 years. And Seamus Moynihan there at the very end of all of that, the most recent All-Ireland winning captain. But who will win in 2001? It really is a most pleasant afternoon here in Croke Park. Little or no breeze around to influence matters. Nice bit of sunshine. Very pleasant afternoon. Everybody looking forward to what could be a really good match. Let's hope so. Young and old alike, fortunate to get the tickets.
In the interest of safety, the interest
Well, we've been watching the captains. Let's go down and meet one of them now. Darren Maloney has got Mick Lyons with him, and Mick was one of the great Meath captains of the last 10-15 years.
Well, Mick, I had a feeling you'd get a great reception out there today, and you just happened to enjoy it.
Well, I was lucky one, like Meath here playing all Ireland was nice to be out there, yeah. I said it'd be the last time I'd be out there.
Did it bring back some nice memories for you?
Yeah, with some good memories here and with some bad memories, and I hope today goes as a good memory.
Would you like to be involved today?
No.
Why not?
The young man's game, I enjoyed every bit of it, and it's certainly a young man's game, and I enjoy looking at it now.
How do you think it'll go?
A lot of people are saying it's going to be a very easy match to meet. I don't see that. We come up here in 90 to play Cork, and we didn't play. Now, Cork were the better team in the day, but we didn't play well that day. Like Meath played very well against Kerry. I don't think Kerry played well that day, so I don't see it as a Meath walk. I see a good match here today. All with good forwards, good midfielder. I think they have a stronger panel overall.
Mick, lovely to talk to you. Enjoy the game. Thanks a lot.
You still think he could take on that number 3 shirt. Mind you, Meath, of course, have an excellent number 3 right now in Darren Fay, confirmed as one of those. Will be going to Australia for the 2 test matches against the Aussies next month.
Yeah, Mick Lyons still looking trim and fit, and obviously still enjoying the old bit of golf down in Meath, amongst his business work down there. Well, about 3 minutes to go before the Galway team arrive out on the field. The supporters arriving into Croke Park for this afternoon's final. The people of Meath and the people of Galway, of course, and those who are lucky enough to have acquired tickets for this afternoon's big match. We have got tickets for it. We're looking forward to it as well. Tony Davis, who's going to win this year's All-Ireland final?
I wish it was as easy as that. Everyone says Meath are going to win it, but it's going to be very difficult today for them. Galway have huge potential. They have only played 10 or 15 minutes of football in any game, yes, and they're in the All-Ireland final. They have 2 scoring forwards. Derek Savage played very well the last. He got 3 points, which is the most he ever played. And Pádraig Joyce really hasn't got into the flow. Okay, he's going to find it hard today with Darren Fay fullback, but they certainly have the players all over the field. Kevin Walsh, they need him fit for the whole game. If he is injured and goes off, he's a huge loss. And I would like to see Michael Donnan closer to the goal. He's a scoring forward, left or right leg, makes darting runs, but he does a lot of his work in the half-back line or near the full-back line. I'd love to see him up a little bit closer to the goal, where he'd contribute with Pádraig Joyce and Derek Savage. They have the potential, Michael, but I'm not too sure they're good enough to beat this Meath team.
Well, in just under 2 minutes' time, there's going to be a big burst of applause and sound for the Galway team. They will be out first. Just want to quickly say hello to some people. Eamon Brennan from Navan, who's actually watching today's match, and his mates out in Maguire's Hill 16 pub in Fort Lauderdale as we watch the Galway team coming out of the dressing room. They will be coming onto the pitch in 30 seconds' time. Ja Fallon, is he fit enough to play a full part in today's game? That is the big question from a Galway point of view. And Alan Cairns, I suppose, a little bit unlucky not to be in this Galway starting lineup today. Pádraig Joyce going through there. Here come Galway. There's Gary Fahey, the team captain for this year's All-Ireland final, and of course full back on the side. Very, very pleasant guy, Gary Fahey, very intelligent man. Good footballer, playing some good football this year as well. He's about to lead Galway out for the 2001 All-Ireland final.
What a great welcome indeed that Galway have just received. Thousands upon thousands of people here. Estimated attendance 68 to 69,000. And when you think that this time next year, this stand that we're working in, which is by and large a building site right now, the attendance, there we are up in that particular section, the attendance will be up around 85,000, I would imagine, by this time next year. Let's hope people don't have too many difficulties getting those priceless tickets. So the 15 chosen to play are left in picture. Alan Kane there, their number 1. Surprise choice as goalkeeper. Sean O'Dwyer, their 2, Derek Savage. Heading down towards the goal at Hill 16, the giant screen up there among the fans, top of the hill. And Pádraig Joyce here, they're looking for a big performance. I think they need a huge performance from Joyce this afternoon. It'll be interesting to see what the tactics are. Gary Fahy will be the captain. Ollie 3-7. Can he come up with that? That's the great Ollie Murphy, of course. Meath fans camped up there, but there's a fairly healthy divide of Meath and Galway fans up on Hill 16. Tomás Mannion, the man who came back, troubled greatly by a back problem. But then again, the man he is due to mark this afternoon, or be marked by him, Trevor Giles, has also come back from a very bad back problem. Speaking of back problems, Martin Carney, how's yours?
Not too bad at all, Ger, actually. Just as you're saying there, you know, great game and prospect. And it'll be fascinating today, all right, to see how Pádraig Joyce does in the full forward line. Hasn't been particularly good from play in recent times. They need a big performance from him there today.
Here come Meath. Big occasion for them. They've won the All-Ireland on 7 occasions in all, as opposed to Galway's 8. What a reception. Every space has been taken here at Croke Park, and everybody looking and wondering with great anticipation as to what we will see between now and about 5 o'clock. John McDermott, Trevor Giles there on the left-hand side, Graham Geraghty also confirmed as one of those who'll be going in Brian McAniff's travelling party very shortly down for those 2 internationals, Ireland v Australia, in Melbourne and Adelaide, and you'll be able to see both of those, of course, live on this channel. The biggest day of the year in Gaelic football. Ollie Murphy, I'm sure, just wondering, can he reproduce the excellent form that he's shown this season? They've come through some very tough and very stiff tests. Most notably, I suppose, Westmeath.
Yes, indeed, Ger. And one of the things about the Meath forward line, as against the Galway forward line, is that they have scored goals in recent times. I think altogether the full forward line has scored 7 goals in the last 3 or 4 games, whereas none of the Galway starting forwards have scored a goal since the end of June. And one of the factors I think that will be important today will be how will that Galway full forward line come when if they have goal scoring opportunities. They need to put them away today. They haven't been doing that recently. The goal scorer the last day was Matthew Clancy, a sub. The one before that against Cork was Sean O'Dwyer, a wing back. So the forward line need to try getting goals, I think, if Galway are to win this.
So everybody now going through the warm-up process. Meath were the second team to arrive. They were here about 2:10. Galway were in about 1:45. Check on the sides then. And Meath, as expected, are unchanged. You can hardly improve on a team performance that saw Kerry, the defending champions, literally whipped at the semi-final stage by 15 points. So it's Darren Fay again at full-back. Nigel Nestor or Hank Traynor to fill the centre-half spot. Take your pick where that's concerned. Nigel Crawford and John McDermott are at midfield. And then as we go into the forwards, Trevor Giles, of course, picked at number 11, could move left. And the inside line includes Ollie Murphy, Graham Geraghty and Ray McGee. The major changes from 2 years ago are most definitely in their half-back line. Colm Coyle has joined up with Sean Boylan here, who is 19 years in the job as Meath manager. Today is his 79th championship match in charge. 53 of those have been victories, and he's led Meath to 4 All-Irelands and 8 Leinster titles. Quite a record. Galway have made just 1 change in personnel following their exciting win over Derry. No movement in personnel among the backs, however. Gary Fahy captains the side from number 3. Tomás Mannion is outside him, flanked by Declan Meehan and Sean O'Dwyer. Kevin Walsh and Michael Donlan in midfield. But up front, Paul Clancy starts today alongside Joe Fallon, and it's the usual suspects in the key positions, and they are Derek Savage and Pádraig Joyce. A lot of potential there, but they have got to deliver. John O'Mahony led Mayo, of course, in an All-Ireland final back in 1989, won a Connacht title with Leitrim in 94, and guided Galway to the ultimate in 1998. For John O'Mahony, it's his 48th championship match.
Well, it's an absolutely beautiful day for football here in Dublin. I remember exactly 30 years ago, the All-Ireland final between Galway and Offaly getting soaked wet when the downpour came at half-time in that match on the old Cusick stand on that occasion. I want to say hello to Marty Burns, who is watching us in England today. Marty is from Kilbannon. He's aged 8 in County Galway. He's in Harrow Hospital. Marty, we wish you well and we hope that you enjoy today's match. Colm O'Rourke, from a Meath point of view, we've heard what Tony's got to say about the match. The hype that's down in the county maybe in the last week or so has been growing about this game.
It has. It's the longer the week went on, the more worried I got about the whole scene, because, you know, this can get through to players. I was in Murrayfield yesterday, and everywhere we went, Scotland people expected to be wiped out. Instead of that, they did exactly the opposite. And when you go into a game with a mental state which I think in the back of your mind you're thinking that you're going to win irrespective of what takes place, sometimes your mind can disintegrate. So I think that Meath are in a difficult position, but they're a hardened outfit. They've been around for a few years. There can be no excuses today. The pitch is reasonably good. The weather is fantastic. Now, I remember saying to you, Michael, here last year, and you know, taken aback a little bit by it. I said I thought Galway were a moderate team before last year's. They have, I think, made 5 changes. And I think we all would have said that if Ja Fallon was playing last year, Galway would have won. Ja's playing, big doubt about his fitness. But if he is in flying form of what he is capable of, he will cause big problems. I also think that the goalkeeper is a very big addition to the Galway team this year. And I think most of the changes they've made are a big help, but you'd have to think that the Meath full forward line are going to cause problems for the two fatties particularly, and I think that that's where it may be won or lost. Probably you'll see Tommy Joyce come back to try and create an extra back there, so we could have a messy game around the middle of the field with nobody on each other and the two inside forward lines possibly having to cope with an extra back. So I think that's a mark of respect to the two forward lines.
Well, the last person that we saw just a moment ago there, of course, is Ollie Murphy. And there's no doubt about it, Tony Davis, that this man is lethal. We've seen Ollie 3-7 held up in the crowd there. That's his championship score so far to date this particular summer. And he can do damage. And so, of course, can this man.
Yeah, they're a formidable outfit, both of them. I'd know what Ollie 3-7 would be. I'd be reading the Bible if I was going out to mark him as well. The way they play the ball, they play a diagonal ball right into the corner, and they use a scissors movement that both move to both sides and create terrific space. And if you're a cornerback marking either of them, there's about 40 yards in front of you. And I know, going back to 87, 88, Colm was talking about in glowing terms, I have very bad memories of it. But having a whole field in front of you, a quick ball in, and all you want is about 1 out of every 3 or 4 balls to fall your way, and a forward being optimistic will go on the far side and hope the ball will drop in, and you're guaranteed to get scores. And that's the one thing about Ollie Murphy. He only needs half a chance. He'll wait and wait and wait his chance, and when his chance comes, as we see in the semi-final, he'll take it. He's lethal off either leg. Like Michael McCarthy marked him in the first 15 minutes. He marked him quite well, and still he got 3 points. He got 1 from under the Hogan stand over there. It was unbelievable. He stood off and said, go on, have a shot. Don't go near the ball. Straight over the bar. So players like him are very, very good in situations like All-Ireland final. They've been through it before. It's a home pitch for Meath. It's their 7th game this year on the field. They slept in their own beds last night. They're well prepared for it. I know the talk Michael Tootle and Colm about, you know, being overconfident and being favourites, but they're through it all. Sean Bollin knows all about this, and I'm sure psychologically they'll be ready for it. I think they'll be hard to beat today.
Okay, a lot will depend on the shoulders of that particular man there too, Michael Dundon. Well, the whistle just blew a second ago. That is the signal for the players to congregate over in the general area of the red carpet, because the red carpet has been laid down for the President of Ireland, Mary McAleese, who will be coming on to the pitch here in Croke Park very shortly to meet the players.
Yes, we're looking forward to that. Any moment now the President will be making her appearance out here to meet all the players. Trevor Giles, what a wonderful centre forward he is, one of the great influential characters, capable of orchestrating so many wonderful moves for Meath, has done so down the years. Came back from a career-threatening cruciate knee ligament injury, and he knows all about that. He's a physiotherapist by profession. And there's Derek Savage. Will he be a key factor in a possible Galway victory? Everybody wished well. Graham Geraghty. And now President McAleese, accompanied by Sean McCaig and by her husband Martin, coming out to greet the players. President McAleese, who of course hails from County Antrim. Her husband is from County Down, Martin. Both very enthusiastic sports people. In very jovial mood here. Croke Park still taking wonderful shape. First of all, it's the turn of Meath. Darren Fay there, Cormac Murphy.
Have a great game, every good game. For us, it will be, hi, how are you? You doing okay?
Nigel Crawford there, whose dad comes from County Down. Trevor Giles, who is Meath captain, performs his first official function of the day. Now the turn of the match officials. Michael Collins from Clonakilty in County Cork, just the second Cork man in many, many years to referee an All-Ireland final. The last was Jim Denigan back in 1986. There for Galway, Declan Meehan, Tomas Mannion and Sean Oden, the player. The goal-scoring potential there, Martin. I mean, you think of Sean Oden, the player, scoring against Cork earlier this year in the championship, and Meehan's fantastic goal last year against Kerry.
Yeah, what's interesting about those three half-backs, actually, they started off their careers as forwards, and they have a penchant for getting forward, you know, again and again. And to me, it's going to be the critical line on the Galway team today, that they're able to get forward even if their midfield isn't doing particularly well. But also, it's very important to them that they actually cut out the supply going through to the inside line to Ollie Murphy and to Graham Gerrity. And to my mind, the game is going to be won or lost, actually, on how well that Galway half-back line does. But to date, they have been marvellous in getting forward. And, you know, but against that, they have a calibre of player today, the likes of Giles and Evan Kelly, that are going to take quite a lot of watching.
So wave to the crowd from Her Excellency the President. It's a wonderful setting. It's a perfect day. No excuses. And everybody now settling down, hoping to enjoy a great final. But as we know, nerves play a very big part.
Yes, but with these two teams at the moment that have been in All-Ireland finals over the last number of years, they're very, very experienced. And, I mean, they seemed, from what we could see on television pictures, certainly coming out of the dressing room, very, very relaxed. As well as that, their managers are so experienced and have been through this so often that they're able to transmit that sense of ease to their players. But okay, it's a perfect day in terms of weather. We can't be looking to the weather like for bad ball handling or anything like that. But after the first 5 minutes, if there are nerves, I'd expect them to have gone by then. And I think we'll be in for a very good game of football, Ger.
The key battleground could well be the middle part of the field, and it's part of the Meath psyche in a way, the way they play the game. They dominate in there, they win broken ball, they work for one another, and they play it rapidly into the inside forwards.
Yeah, central to the Meath game is their work ethic, their bravery and their sense of commitment. And any ball that's broken there, whether it be a 40-60 or a 50-50, they'll put their bodies on the line for it. Now, Galway are equally as brave. Meath don't have a monopoly on bravery. And that particular area of the middle eight will be critical, because not alone will it be a crowded area, as Colin earlier said, but it will be creating space inside inside. And again, it's the quality of ball that comes out of there to the inside line that's going to be very, very important. And that's where I believe the likes of Trevor Giles is going to play a major part. And also where the likes of Michael Donovan will play a major part, because they're wonderful kickers of the ball, and they can, in a sense, bypass the half-back lines and hit pinpoint balls to their inside players. So that whoever gets possession there and how they use it is going to be critical to the outcome of the game.
What about the battle there between Darren Fay, just moving through picture, and Pádraig Joyce? Would you start him on Fay, or would you expect him to drag Fay out of position?
But I don't think it's a question of who the forward wants to start on. I think it's who the back is going to actually take up. And I think Darren Fay, no matter where Pádraig Joyce is playing, is going to take him up. That's unless Pádraig Joyce goes out to the half-forward line, which I don't think he will from the beginning. Now, Pádraig hasn't played particularly well from play maybe in the last game or two. And I think he has to raise his standard quite a few notches today and get back to the form he showed earlier in the season. He's a marvellous player. He exudes authority when he's playing well. And again, so much depends on him if Galway are to win this, because if the ball has been playing long, he is target man. He needs to win it. And again, he has to have the guy, young Savage, riding shotgun with him in order to avail of the chances maybe that Pádraig will set up for him.
It's been a long time since these counties met in the championship, back in the 60s. This is their 5th ever championship meeting. So the combined Artane boys band, and not just boys, but there's a lady in there as well, as we know. The joint bands at this stage. What a setting. It's almost like it's the last day of the summer holidays.
Yes, it is the last day of our championship roundup, unless there's a replay today, Ger. And one thing we should acknowledge is the contribution of all the footballers during the season, from the first round up to today. Today is okay, the shop windows, it's the day when you get the big rosette. But certainly we've had wonderful occasions through the summer, and it's a great credit to all the footballers who participated in those games.
It's been great fun. This is match number 63.
Yes, it's been some summer indeed.
Well, people are looking forward to it everywhere and anywhere. I know that John Connolly, who's from Glenamaddy in County Galway, he's in Merlin Park. He's looking for a Galway win this afternoon. But there are thousands and thousands watching everywhere and anywhere, hoping that the Royals will come through. You mentioned the great kicking skills of Michael Donlan in midfield. There is an argument for playing him at the half-forward line.
No, I'd still prefer to see him at midfield. He has a freedom to move there that he wouldn't get in the half-forward line, Ger. And quite honestly, I believe when he was played in the half-forward line against Roscommon in the first round of the championship, that contributed maybe to Galway losing that game. I think he has a freedom to just simply display the great range of qualities that he has when he is placed at the middle of the park. And again, the only criticism I would have of him at times is that maybe he goes too deep to receive the ball. I'd love to see him playing more from midfield forward than from half-back forward.
It is Meath who won the toss, and they're going to play from right to left in the first half. Before all of that, there's going to be a minute's silence for the shocking, horrible atrocities that happened in the US very recently.
Please stand for silence and our mark of respect.
The American flag's up there on Hill 16. I counted 3. Deeply significant. People here in harmony with the rest of the world.
Don't cheer until the band has completed the anthem. We're going to be the line with.
Ireland there with the Artane band singing Our Own Navian. The ceremonials are over. It's time for action. The 112th All-Ireland football final. Michael Collins taking charge of this. He was in charge of the Derry versus Galway All-Ireland semi-final as well, and a number of other high-profile games. Jar Fallon and Joe Bergen plus Paul Clancy switching around the place. Who will it be? The biggest moment of the year in Gaelic football. Touchdown by Kevin Walsh to Tomás Mannion of Galway. Back to Michael Donlan. Ooh, dangerous moments in the Meath defence early on. Darren Fay coping well. Cormac Sullivan out towards Evan Kelly. Real danger man, pacey performer. Sean Og, the player, chasing after him. Nicely inside here towards Ollie Murphy. And there's the first foul by Gary Fahy there as Graham Geraghty was making his way through, injuring his left shoulder. A ticking for Gary Fahy, free to Meath. Really explosive start.
Yes, indeed, Jaron. On the other side of the field, I know there's a couple of changes in the marking systems. First of all, I think at full forward is Derek Savage.
That's kicked over there. Ray McGee, first point of the match. So very first attack and a very productive opening.
Yes, just going back, Ray McGee is at the far side of the field. Derek Savage is playing full forward. Mark O'Reilly's marking him for Joyce is in the corner, and Darren Fay has gone out on him, and Ollie Murphy has taken up Tommy Joyce, presumably to stay with him if he goes roaming.
Alan Kane towards Michael O'Donnell, and it's broken away from him, however. Another attack set up by Evan Kelly. McGee coming forward. Murphy intended for Kelly, has it closed down, stolen away, and it's Richie Fahy who is fouled, and it's a free out to Galway. All the early pressure over is coming in on that Galway goal. Alan Kane here, something of a surprise package. He replaced Pádraig Lally, 6'5" tall, a huge goalkeeper. McDermott getting it down. They win it back. Crawford. He's put it wide.
There's just one tactic that is evident so far. John McDermott has broken every ball in the middle of the field that has come out to him. He's trying to, in a sense, spoil Kevin Walsh from catching it.
Nigel Crawford there in midfield alongside John McDermott. It's McDermott on Kevin Walsh, by the way. So Meath with a slight and early advantage. Evan Kelly breaking it this time towards Ray McGee, was going down for it. Couldn't hold on to it. That's Paul Clancy. He's a really hard-working player. And it should be borne in mind, people will talk about Kearns being off the team, but Clancy was very much a first-choice player. Injury curtailed a lot of his career. Here's Nigel Nestor. Good ball inside towards Ollie Murphy. Harassed. Richie Fahy's after him. Not forced into the arrow, however. It's Richie Keeley instead, and the ball touched on the ground, and it's a free out to Galway, who have yet to really launch their first attack.
Yes, indeed. Meath seem to have started much more brightly than Galway. Seem a bit nervous.
Kieran Fitzgerald back to Gary Fahy. This is his brother Richie. Now Declan Meehan. Several players trying to put in a telling challenge, and in the end Evan Kelly has the free kick given against him. Probably dragging back his opponent. Sun in the eyes of the Galway backs. You can see Michael Donlan trying to shade the sunlight from his eyes. This is easily swept up here by Donald Curtis. Curtis has gone down. Late foul. The foul is committed by Paul Clancy. Number noted. So free to the Royals. Into Richie Keeley. He's lost it. Michael Dublin. Stylishly kicking it ahead as far as it possibly can go. Oh, it's missed. And here's a chance for Borough Joyce. Oh, the goalkeeper missed it completely as he came out. It's going to be a 45. Derek Savage was coming onto it. And just for a moment you felt Galway have to score.
Yes, that's a great opportunity as the ball comes in here. But Porrick Joyce, the goalkeeper Cormac O'Sullivan, kicks it. Derek Savage, Porrick I think actually got the kick to it. But that's good bit of last-ditch defending on the goal line, and 45 results from it. But Galway were very unlucky. Meath did very well to cover off that time in the person of Donald Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis was back there, got the final intervention. It's a 45. Michael Donlan to strike this from the Dunmore MacHale's club. He has kicked it, and he has kicked it over the bar. That's a good start by Michael Donlan. So, the match level. Early stages. Really, that should have been a goal.
Oh yeah, it was a great opportunity altogether. A little bit of a hesitancy on the part of Cormac Sullivan, but I must say that you've got to credit the defending work of Donald Curtis.
Richie Keeley breaking it down. Nigel Crawford coming onto it. Trying to get away from the attentions of Michael Donlan. Back here to Nigel Nestor. Inevitably there's a support player. This time it's Cormac Murphy. He takes too many steps. Free kick to the tribesmen. Inside by Tommy Joyce. Breaks down here to Darren Fay. He's taken up a central defensive position once again. Kicked by Curtis, but only straight at Joe Bergen. Joe, whose Uncle Jack from Tipperary, of course, was one of the selectors for Tip 2 weeks ago in the hurling final. Nicely in here to Graham Geraghty. Getting there ahead of Gary Fahy. Held up beautifully, John McDermott. And he has put it over the bar. The umpire stuck a little while over that one. But Meath have gone back in front again. And they lead by 2 points to 1.
That's a great bit of off-the-ball movement actually from John McDermott that time. And Graham Geraghty spotted him very well. Time is run late and screwed the ball over beautifully with his right foot. Great goal from John McDermott.
He's doing well in the scoring stakes of late. That's 2 goals and 7 points now in championship football for him. Kieran Fitzgerald starting it all again. Ja Fallon. Haven't heard much of Ja so far or seen much of him. Ball picked off the ground. Free kick to Meath. Big John McDermott. Towards Graham Geraghty. Cut out by Joe Bergen, but Geraghty sticking to the task well. Always a menacing figure. Played back towards Trevor Giles. It's a great ball across, but didn't quite have the distance. Cut out by Declan Meehan. Meath player down injured, seems to be Graham Geraghty. Temporarily Meath are down to 14. Kevin Walsh ballooning it forward. Great catch. Fay once again, superb. Mark O'Reilly trying to get that ball away from danger. Porrick Joyce winning it back. Here's Ja Fallon. On the left boot, he puts it beautifully over the bar. Ja at his very best. Enthusiastic Galway followers have seen their side draw level once again.
Indeed, last year the Galway followers bemoaned the fact that Ja wasn't there when they played Kerry, but that's a confidence-boosting score from him. Again, lovely way he gets onto the left foot and puts it delightfully over the bar from about 45 yards.
He didn't look at his sharpest in the semi-final. He was taken off in that match and there were fears that he might not make the starting 15. He has. He started well. Galway get it back. Declan Meehan chasing after him is Richie Keeley. Being forced in towards the corner. Has support. Savage is there. Comes back in towards Porrick Joyce. High challenge. Free in. Foul by Darren Fay. Galway can go in front here. A very bright opening.
Great opening, Ger, and I must say the Meath tackling is outstanding in the backline, but it needs to be disciplined as well as crisp, because if they're going to give away frees like that, Porrick Joyce has the quality to actually punish them.
I suspect, though, that in open play, Galway need a more authoritative performance from Porrick Joyce up front.
Yes, but he's not doing he's not doing too badly yet, although Darren Fay has fielded one great ball over his head.
Can Galway take the lead? Oh, he's missed it. Very, very poor kick indeed. That's a bad miss.
Yes, that was a bad miss from Porrick, and most untypical. But just going further out the field at the moment, it's noticeable that Joe Bergen has gone into a midfield position. They seem to be attempting to crowd out the middle of the park as much as possible. And in fact, he's picking up Nigel Nestor at different times, whereas Gerald Fallon is kind of trying to drift in more into the forward line.
In fact, he's doing a man marking job on Nestor. Here's Sean the player. Nestor's after him. Several players after him. Back towards Savage. Tight angle. Inside towards Porrick Joyce. Can he turn? Plays it back well. And it's kicked over by Joe Bergen. Point for Galway. Well, they may have missed a free a little while ago, but they have taken the lead for the first time.
That's a beautiful piece of a combined play by the Galway forward line. Savage eventually being finished off by Bergen. Wonderful piece of football. And again, he dropped a couple of balls there that to his confidence go. Jai gives the ball across here. Sean coming forward which he normally does, lets the ball back, and eventually Derek Savage puts it to Bergen, who puts it over.
Lovely combined play. The Galway forwards in full flight. That's Paul Clancy going down there. Clancy could be a very important figure from kickouts as well. He's a tall man. Oh, Nigel Nestor, I think, will be told to go back a little bit more. Free will be taken again. Clancy leaving it there for Porrick Joyce. Ticking for Hank Traynor following that last indiscretion. There's his angle. Kick the last one from the hands, of course. Let's see if he's better luck this time. It's dropping short. Meath are strong in there. Cormac Murphy getting it out as far as Richie Keeley. Line ball to Galway. Players getting absolutely nothing lightly in these early tense minutes. Joyce, nicely across there towards his brother Tommy. And Tommy has had a pretty decent scoring ratio this year. He's got 11 points and all, but that was not one of his better kicks.
Yes, they've been a little wasteful. The ball has been up there now for the last couple of minutes, and they've had a couple of opportunities that they might have finished. But those type of misses can certainly mount up and be very costly at the end.
Sean Boylan there, living on his nerves as ever. Of course, his fellow selectors are Colin Coyle and Damon O'Brien. Sullivan belting it towards Nigel Nestor, but it is Galway who managed to win the kick out. Paul Clancy pursued over there by Hank Traynor. Hank, one of these great utility players, along with Donald Curtis and so many others. John McDermott and Kevin Walsh. Walsh just getting a touch to it. Richie Keeley trying to win it there against the other number 12, Joe Bergen. McDermott firing it down towards Ollie Murphy, holding on to it well. Murphy so dangerous, and that is one of the reasons why he's put it over the bar. Ollie Murphy's first point of the day, and the teams are level for the third time. It's turning out to be a cracking final.
Yes, and that's a typical Ollie Murphy point. Again, the back thought he had everything done right. Ollie just held his run for a moment. Great spring up his feet and screwed the ball over with his left foot. Lovely score from him.
Ollie's marker, by the way, this afternoon is Richie Fahy. It's an onerous task. Sean O'Dwyer towards Michael Donlan. Fed nicely forward. Kevin Walsh going down under the weight of the challenge was Paul Clancy. Free to Galway. That's a movement just ahead there, but Michael Donlan opting to just take it a little bit easier. It is a very warm afternoon. Oh, it's gone well away to the right. Complete mishit. Michael Donlan explaining it all away. But they are very dependent up front, Galway, on Derek Savage and Porrick Joyce. As usual, Tommy Joyce playing quite a deep role. Clancy's under this one, but Meath so good at breaking ball down. But it's won back by Galway, and here's Declan Meehan, a real tear-away player, inside towards Porrick Joyce. Bending his back to try and pick it up was John McDermott. Richie Keeley playing it out to Nigel Nestor. A chance to build once again here. Donald Curtis. Good provision of that ball inside to Ollie Murphy once more, taking on Richie Fahy. Back towards Ray McGee. Nicely into Nigel Nestor, has played in the forwards. Looking just to free himself from the attentions of three Galway backs. In the end they outnumber him, and it's Richie Fahy who wins it back. Tomás Mannion now. Dangerous challenge. He's fouled and it's a free out. And Nigel Nestor being spoken to by the referee, and let's see what action he's going to take. It's going to be a card. It's yellow. First yellow card of the match.
Yes, but I don't think there was any real malice in that. I think he tried to go for the ball but caught Tomás Mannion as he was doing so. But again, it is our first booking of the game. But the Galway defending there was very good, and there was also a lack of support there for Ollie Murphy and for Nigel Nestor when they had the ball from players coming in from the outside.
Alan Kane's kick reaches the sideline. Line ball to Meath. John McDermott. Inside to Graham Geraghty. Always coming out looking for it, drawing the foul on this occasion. Gary Fahy, the one who commits the indiscretion, and it's going to be a free in.
One other significant switch we should talk about. Trevor Giles actually has gone out to the wing and is now being marked by Declan Meehan.
Ray McGee. Nigel Crawford kicking. And he has put it over the bar. First point in the game for the very tall, angular midfield player. So both midfielders now, John McDermott and Crawford, have scored.
Lovely bit of initiative that time by Nigel Crawford, and poor concentration actually by the Galway midfield not to have anticipated that run, but a very good finish.
Both sides essentially playing with two men in their inside forward line. So there's a lot of space, but it's a very congested midfield. John McDermott, a tower of strength. Great catch. Good work by Richie Fahy. Kieran Fitzgerald. They feed it out as far as Joe Bergen. Tommy Joyce. Derek Savage, one of the options up front. Instead, it's taken down very well indeed by Mark O'Reilly, and Marcus fouled as he was getting the ball away. And that's going to be a free to Meath. It was Derek Savage who'd followed him all the way down. Trevor Giles kicking this one in. Great kick. Intended for Ollie Murphy. Won instead, however, by Richie Fahy. Kevin Walsh. Sean O'Dwyer. Moving it out here towards Declan Meehan. Into Jar Fallon. Great diagonal ball across. And that is Kieran Fitzgerald, who's kept on motoring up there. He's dragged down by Ray McGee. It's that kind of mobile, fluid game. You can expect the number 2 to pop up in the number 15 position.
Well, I think years ago the Dutch invented a thing called total football, but this time don't be surprised to see corner forwards up on the forward line. That was a wonderful diagonal pass from Jarlath Fallon. Great vision, excellent delivery.
Certainly is a day for the Shades. Michael Donnellan, a point from a 45 already in this match. Here we are, nearly 20 minutes gone. And they're waving it wide. The Meath player is encouraging the umpire. He's missed it. It remains at 4 points to 3 in favour of Meath. This, the Bank of Ireland All-Ireland football final. John O'Mahony is such an astute manager. Two very crafty campaigners in opposition today. Two of the great managers of modern times. Evan Kelly. Good solo burst here. Is there support? Does he require it? Stopped by Alan Kane. Again, getting it out quickly to Declan Meehan. It's attack and counter-attack. Swift movements up and down the field. And this time Derek Savage. Point chance here. He has inexplicably missed it. That's 5 wides now by Galway, and that was one of their best chances.
Yeah, but that's 5 wides. 4 of those wides, any one of them should have been points, and they'll rue those later on. Can't miss those in a game of this consequence, or indeed in any game. They've been wonderful opportunities.
Hard to believe. Trevor Giles towards Ray McGee. Being marked by Kieran Fitzgerald. In fact, not just being marked by Kieran Fitzgerald, he was up on his back. Very quickly taken towards Ollie Murphy. Expecting the side-to-side charge. It came from Richie Fahy. Holding it up for Graham Geraghty. Whoops. Little stumble here. That was enough to allow Fahy in. Ball touched on the ground by Graham Geraghty, the referee has decided. And it's a free out to Galway. Frantic.
Yeah, Richie Fahy showing great resolve in his contest on Ollie Murphy. Murphy is getting to the ball, but Fahy for the most part is staying between him and the goals, and he's performed very well so far.
Gary Fahy's kick is a very wayward one, and the pressure will be right back in their faces. Mistakes been made. Sean Boylan back out there to offer some words of advice. Trevor Giles. Inside towards Graham Geraghty, runs on to Murphy, and it's taken by Gary Fahy once again. Drawn down there by Graham Geraghty. Free to Galway. It's gone a bit ragged. Jar Fallon coming to take this one. Great catch. Beautifully taking it away from Donal Curtis. Jar at his stylish best, but he's put this one into the goalkeeper's hands. It's back out with McDermott once again. Loads of chances. Untypical errors.
Untypical errors from both sides, and indeed we thought after the first 10 minutes or so the game would settle down, but in fact it has got quite ragged over the last 5 or 10 minutes, so to speak, and both sides are making errors, kicking the ball needlessly over the end line and kicking poor wides.
Here we are, 23 minutes into the match. Galway's last score was after 11 minutes. They've had 4 wides ever since. They have possession. Porrick Joyce. Ooh. And he's kicked another bad wide. I know the angle was tight, but there were options, there were players inside. Frustrating. At the end of the day, the fans just want to see their team win. They don't care how. Porrick Joyce now, no score from 3 shots at the target. Nigel Crawford didn't quite get much of a touch on that. It was Evan Kelly instead, straight at Richie Fahy. He's playing well. Kevin Walsh. Tommy Joyce beyond Paul Clancy this time. It's Pádraig Joyce who comes out for it. Clancy's gone ahead, but tracking him the whole time was Hank Traynor. Tomás Mannion. Oh! Two Meath men were coming in at him there. Richie Keeley was one, Trevor Giles was the other, numbers 11 and 12. And it's going to result in a Galway free kick. So still 4-3.
Yeah, one of the things we wondered about early on, how well would the Meath defence do in the Galway attack? The Galway attack is getting loads of possession in there, but they're not converting it.
Here's Paul Clancy now, taking on Hank Traynor, showing how it should be done. Great kick. Paul Clancy's first. He's a quality footballer. And the teams are level once again. It's the fourth time they've been level. 4-4. This was wonderful skill here by Clancy. Had strength, had resolve, and had accuracy.
And again, that's their first score, Gerard, since the 15th minute, I think.
Sullivan's deep kick. One in there by Galway once again. But scrappy play, and it's going to be a free downfield for Meath. Ball picked off the ground. And for not withdrawing fast enough, referee Michael Collins has penalised Galway a further 13 metres. Crawford inside for Trevor Giles, wants the return. Has support. Giles available. Nigel Nestor inside towards Richie Keeley. Great block down. That's excellent work in there. Declan Meehan, great skill. Fahy to Michael Donlan. They build from the back. Tomás Mannion, very happy and settled down now in the number 6 shirt. Darren Fay, accomplished full back play by him. And the ball again handled on the ground, and it's a free kick to Galway this time. Pádraig Joyce wanting to take it quickly. Referee having to step in here to have words with a couple of players. Ja Fallon being isolated by the Cork official, tussling there with John McDermott, and it's a yellow card for Ja Fallon. So 2 yellow cards in the match. Nigel Nestor of Meath, Ja Fallon of Galway, and the referee says there was guilt on the part of both players, so he's throwing it in. But we just spotted 1 yellow card.
Yes, it was just Ja was the only one booked in that case, and the free this time is because Evan Kelly came in. The throw was only supposed to be between 2 men, but Evan Kelly came in as the extra man, caught the ball, therefore it's a free against Meath.
Well, it was a free to Galway, I think, initially anyway. Then when the indiscretion happened, the referee decided to throw. Back to Michael Donlan. Pursued by Cormac Murphy, way out from his cornerback position. Nigel Crawford lobbing it ahead to Graham Geraghty. Breathing down his neck is Gary Fahy. And again, the referee is going to throw this one in. It's a frantic contest. 4-4. Seven, 8 minutes to go to half-time. Meath still pressurising. Ray McGee. Oh, it's a terrible kick. Straight to Michael Donlan. Released to Tommy Joyce. Back to Donlan it comes once more. Forward for Ja Fallon. Attracting plenty of attention. He's fouled there by Donald Curtis. Donald is the head greenkeeper in Navan Golf Course. Belted ahead here to Joe Bergen. 1 point in the match so far. This is, well, it was supposed to be cut out, but Galway have it again. And it's Paul Clancy this time, dropping it well short. Cormac Sullivan. Started in a welter of excitement. Lots of good scores. That's a bad foul by Pádraig Joyce. It was a head-high challenge. Frustration is one thing, but he knows he can't do that. And Joyce gets himself a yellow card. Match has taken something of a bumpy ride. This is it again here now. O'Reilly was coming out with it. That was the challenge. Down he went. Padraig Joyce, the guilty party.
But credit him, he got up immediately.
Nigel Crawford, his jersey is pulled back by Michael Donlan. He's going to get his name ticked. One more incident like that and he'll be getting a card. Ollie Murphy let it bounce off his legs. I think he expected the back, who was Richie Fahey, to cut it out, and he failed to do so. And it's frustrating for the manager.
Yeah, the game has been somewhat disappointing up to now. Here you have two. Yes, a very good ball in this time from Richie Keeley. Great block though by Declan Meehan. But just saying, both teams are bristling with talent, but yet they're finding it very hard to get the best out of each other and get the best out of themselves. And there's far too many unforced errors for this level of football.
So much pressure. Cormac Murphy is following Tommy Joyce everywhere and anywhere. And the deeper Tommy plays, I think the happier Cormac is, because he's played centre-half back in the past, and he's quite comfortable in that particular role. Michael Donlan has now gone on to the 40, and Joe Bergen has been switched to midfield. This is Bergen. Galway retained possession. Michael Donlan fouled. It may be scrappy, but every time you get a chance like this one here to engineer a scoring opportunity, you've got to try and take it. Padraig Joyce turning into a challenge. Waiting for Bergen. Should be a point here. He's put it over the bar. Joe Bergen second. They had to graft and they had to work for that, but there was good support play by Joe Bergen. He's had 2 shots at the target. He scored twice, and Galway are leading in this match in front of an attendance of over 70,000.
Yeah, good pass that time from Padraig Joyce, and Joe Bergen saw the gap opening up in front of him, had the confidence to go on and finish emphatically.
Bergen again jumping here with Nigel Crawford. Tomas Mannion's coming to support, getting away from Ray McGee. Mannion, such a quality footballer. Missed most of last season. He's fouled, taken down, free in. Great opportunity for the Galway to get themselves another point, and it's all down to the genius of Tomas Mannion and his sheer willingness to take it forward at every opportunity. And Padraig Joyce has now got the responsibility, about 30 metres out. He should get this one. This to put 2 points between the teams. He's got it absolutely right. It's his first point of the match, and it's now Galway 6, Meath 4. John O'Mahony, I'm sure, quietly pleased alongside Pete Warren and Stephen Joyce over there. Pete on the right. Selectors, when they last won the title, are they to do it again? Early stages. We've got about 3 minutes or thereabouts to half-time, and there'll be 1 extra minute to be played. Evan Kelly, second time of asking, feeding it inside towards Nigel Crawford, looking for space. Galway funneling back men. Ray McGee kicking, and Ray McGee has driven it high and over the bar. A fine point by the number 15 from Kilmainham Wood. He's got 2, and it's 6-5 now. There will be very little between them going in at half-time, as we expected.
Yes, in the 16 minutes, I think, since Meath last scored, I mean, they've gone through a period there where they're not getting the ball around the middle of the park, where they're making mistakes when they have the ball, and certainly Galway will be disappointed that they're not more ahead at half-time.
Kane's kick towards the middle of the field. Kevin Walsh winning well. Good to see a fit Kevin Walsh back in the Galway team. Huge kick inside, should be the goalkeepers. Sullivan out to Mark O'Reilly. Into space towards John McDermott. Fed back well. Trainer. Quick look around here by Richie Keeley. McGee taking up a good position. Dupere is after him. It's still Ray McGee down on the 20-metre line. The ball has been handled on the ground by McGee, and it's going to be a free to Galway. It was a great angle kick, and for a moment I thought he was going to be in to get what would have been his 3rd point of this final.
I think part of Meath's problem, they may have come into this game with an attitude, you know, where they thought Galway were going to simply roll over, but they've found that the Galway defence, and in fact the entire Galway game, has been very, very determined, and they're maybe just on the back foot at the moment.
Donald, great ball ahead to Bora Joyce, inside Fay. Fay getting back goal side. Joyce kicking, and Joyce has put it wide. Only 1 point so far in the match for Porrick Joyce, that coming from a free. Galway need more from him. Well, I think any team prepared by John O'Mahony coming into this final, Meath would have been well aware what to expect. A really tough fight. Galway 6 scores out of 16 chances so far. Meath with 5 scores out of just 7. It's an amazing statistic. Galway creating twice as many opportunities, but they're still only a point up. No breeze around. Here's Graham Garrity, ready to take on Gary Fahy, Galway's captain. In along the end line, dragged down, free from 30 metres in. And Gary Fahy will be spoken to by the referee. He's already been ticked, so this should be a yellow card. Referee has already noted his number, and it's yellow. That is now a total of 4 yellow cards, 3 for Galway, 1 for Meath. It's a very straightforward kick for Trevor Giles, the captain from Screen, the 5th Meath man to captain a team in All-Ireland from this particular club. This to tie it up. It's 6-6. That's his first. Time almost up at the end of the first half, and the referee has blown his whistle. That's the final piece of action. Meath have drawn level. It started with an explosion of scores earlier on, some very, very good ones. Then the game went through a very rocky period. Ray McGee here has got 2 points for Meath, but it's all there for the winning. Joe Bergen, who's made a fine contribution, 2 good scores, 1 explosive burst through midway through the first half to get in for point number 2. But nothing to choose between the teams on the scoreboard, but Galway have been the more productive. But it doesn't show on the half-time score. As they go in at the break, it is Meath 6, Galway 6. Let's go down to the sideline now to get some comment. Darragh Maloney asking the questions.
Anthony Moyles, how do you feel that's gone for Meath?
It's a tough old game, Darry. You know, we knew it'd be tight, and it's proved to be. You know, like, I mean, both teams are making a lot of mistakes, kicking bad wides and dropping balls. But it might be nervousness, or it might be just, you know, both a big desire to win. You know, but hopefully we can pick it up now in the second half, get good long ball into the full forward line, and let Ollie and Graham do a bit of damage in there. You know.
Anthony, thanks for your time. Let's bring in Gay McManus of Galway. Gay, what's your view at half-time? A lot of wides?
Yes, we've had a few wides too many, to be honest. At this stage it's level 6-all. We should be a few points ahead, but at least the game we're competing very well during the match, so we will be disappointed with the wides, but hopefully if they start to go over for the second half, we're still not out of the game by any means.
7 wides in all for Galway. Gay McManus expressing his displeasure. He's in charge of the training of the Galway players who are based here in Dublin. We'll have lots of comment coming up very shortly. Half-time, it's level at 6 points apiece in the Bank of Ireland All-Ireland Football Final.
If you have any opinions about today's game and you want to talk to us later on the Sunday game programme, or at least write into us, that's our email address, gea@rte.ie. That's also our website there at the bottom of the page as well. So then, a look at the statistics from the first half of the 2001 All-Ireland final between Meath and Galway. All square at half-time. Galway have had 19 frees in that first half. Meath have had 11. 7 wides for Galway, 2 for Meath. Just 1:45 in the match. There have been 4 yellow cards. The Meath yellow card was against Nigel Nestor, their centre-half back. Gary Fahy has been booked for Galway. So too have 2 of their forwards, Jaff Allen and Porrick Joyce. Tony Davis and Colm O'Rourke have been watching this match with me in studio. Colm, your views on it from a Meath point of view, I suppose, first of all.
Well, you know, we talked about the danger of the Meath full forward line and ways of Galway counteracting it, and I suppose they've done the simplest thing in the world. They just starve Meath of possession, and they've totally dominated the game around the middle of the field. And that's the simple way of putting the forwards out of business. You know, you wouldn't think coming in at half-time that Ollie Murphy and Graham Gertie would have 1 point between them. So from that point of view, Galway have controlled the game, but they haven't carried out the second part of it, which is to score themselves, with several very, very bad miss. A couple from Pádraig Joyce and Derek Savage really should have been points. So Galway in total control. Meath are in big trouble on breaks, can't win anything. I won't be surprised if we see Paddy Reynolds coming out soon, because he's very good in this sort of a game, coming on to breaks and getting forward quickly. But at this stage, Galway will be a bit disappointed that they're not in front. Meath are hanging on, really.
Both managers, I think Tony Davis would be entitled to give a bit of a tongue lashing in the dressing room, as both teams need improvement, if you like.
Yes, without doubt. It has been scrappy at times. Some of the hand passing and kicking over the sideline has been poor. But it had fierce intensity, and positions mean nothing in modern day football. We saw Fitzgerald way at this side of the field, corner back up, corner forward. It means nothing whatsoever. But 7 wides for Galway with the amount of possession they had playing against Meath. For periods, for 20 minutes of the game, Meath didn't have a ball. The full forward line is totally starved, and yet at half-time it's 6 points all. They live on scraps. If Ollie Murphy or Graham Gertie don't get the scores, somebody else will get them. So a worrying aspect for Galway is that they're still plugging away, but they're not getting the scores.
Well, it started off with a welter of excitement, as it always does, Colm O'Rourke. There was a goal chance for Galway earlier on that somehow just barely got scrambled away.
Yes, this is the start, I suppose, Galway wanted. Long ball in, Ja follows it in, Cormac Sullivan duffs his kick, and between Pádraig Joyce and Derek Savage, they make a bit of a mess of it, because both of them tried to kick the ball. Cormac Sullivan makes a total mess of the clearance, and Derek Savage put off Pádraig Joyce. And I think, you know, that ball really could have ended up in the net. I suppose Galway got a point from the 45.
If that ball had actually been handled for the 45, then possibly it should have been a penalty.
Should have been a penalty, yes. But Galway are doing well. I think Joe Bergen is playing a very good game. He's drifting out to midfield on the kick-outs, and then he has been able to get forward quickly. So he has done very well, both at midfield and getting forward. And Ja looks very sharp. He's done a lot of good work. The only thing about the likes of Ja and Gary Fahy and Pádraig Joyce is, you know, they're on yellow cards. They do anything silly, they're off. And here we have Ja in possession in the middle of the field. Great, he's great with that left fist. Pass out to Sean Oak, the player raiding down. And this is very sharp play by Galway. Ball into Derek Savage and a smashing ball across to Pádraig Joyce. Again, a quick transfer to Bergen. Like, that's football at its best. Sharp work, players running off the ball, very good vision by the player in possession all the way. So, you know, a beautiful pass by Savage, put the ball the right side. And Darren Fay has had his problems with Joyce. Joyce drifting out the field, Savage being left in at full forward, and the Meath backs for a while, I suppose, not knowing exactly who should take, because Fay is really playing left corner back, which wouldn't suit him that well.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your thoughts for the moment. We have another commercial break to take. After that, we have the second half of this All-Ireland final.
And the goalkeeper, it's the goal! It's the goal for Meath! Terry Kearns, the scorer!
Well, Colm O'Rourke was carried into that match that day by his brother on his shoulders. Tony Davis was only 2.5 in 1967. I'm not even going to tell you what age I was. It's all that's important now is the 2001 All-Ireland final, this between Galway and Meath. Galway returning to the field at 6 points each. A big 35 minutes of football ahead of both teams now. Ja Fallon looking nervous, looking anxious, and so is Derek Savage. Galway's lethal corner forward, but hasn't had too much to say in this game so far. Joe Bergen scoring 2 points for Galway, their best player, I suppose, in the scoreboard so far. And just gone out of the picture on the left-hand side there, Ray Silk, the captain of 1998. Galway coming back out onto the field. Let's go back again to Martin and to Gerald.
Yes, they're coming out in front of an attendance of 70,482, which is an enormous crowd. One of the telling statistics, and Michael was giving you the facts and figures during the half-time break, scoring and yellow cards and so on, but I think one of the telling statistics is the number of chances created. And Galway have created 16 against Meath's 8, but it's 6-6. The battle for Sam Maguire hots up. Referee Michael Collins ready to restart. Don't see any changes on either team. Joe Bergen's in midfield alongside Kevin Walsh. Michael Donald's on the 40. So where they go once again. John McDermott challenged high this time by Bergen. No real attempt to put in a decent tackle. But here comes Graham Geraghty, angling himself straight at Alan Kane. Something of a surprise choice in the Galway team this season. Declan Meehan got to skip away from the attentions over there of Richie Keeley. Donald Curtis breaking it down. Ja Fallon trying to keep possession. It's with Bergen. That's a decent ball in for Pádraig Joyce, getting inside Darren Fay. Here's a goal chance, and he has put it over the bar. Puts his hands to his head straight away because he knows it should have been under and not over. But Galway lead once more. That was a great goal chance. It was a wonderfully perceptive pass through the centre, in over the head of Darren Fay, onto Pádraig Joyce. Fay just got to knock onto it, as it were. He was going for a goal, no question in my mind.
Great opportunity, and as I say, Darren Fay was completely caught out there. Did great to recover and get back at Pádraig Joyce, and Pádraig will know he should have put that in the net.
So 7-6. Galway taking the lead. First decent attack of the second half. Counter-attacking now is Ray McGee towards Trevor Giles, gets it back himself, McGee. They try to work it towards Ollie Murphy, 45 metres out from goal. Pressurised, lots of pressure, in fact too much pressure, and he's kicked it wide. Kevin Walsh, the one who was doing a lot of the bidding, and I think it's Kevin Walsh who is down injured at this stage, being attended to there by Jarlath Dagnan, the team doctor. Well, now he's had so many injuries down the years. It was great to see him back in full health and excellent fitness, but this has happened very early now, as you can see in the second half.
Yeah, well, if there is a silver lining, it's not his leg, which has caused him so much problem between groin and calf injuries, and it seems to be maybe a facial belt that he got, so he may be going off for maybe blood treatment.
He wants to stay put, but the referee, I think, is telling him off you go for treatment quickly. They can bring in a fresh man, and I think it's going to be Sean O'Donnell, the obvious and natural replacement into midfield. Sean was telling me his sister Suzanne, I think, is watching this in the States. So he's in. It's a first substitution for the blood injury. Evan Kelly for Meath. So pacey, so direct, so accurate. It's Kelly's first point. Hasn't had too many opportunities. Well, he's had 2 shots at the target. He scores with this one and he makes it 7 points apiece. Fascinating. Listen to the crowd now, getting right behind their favourite team. We've already had a draw here, of course, in the minor match between Dublin and Tyrone. Level here now. A replay would be next Sunday. Pádraig Joyce, who had that golden opportunity. It's kicked away out of danger by Mark O'Reilly. Flicked back in here. Won once again by Tomas Mannion. Fouled by Ray McGee. It'll be a free to Galway. And there's Kevin Walsh, looks to be in some considerable distress, but they'll want to try and get him back into the action as quick as possible. Tommy Joyce trying to pick out his brother Pádraig. Has Ja Fallon ahead of him. Savage is waiting inside, but that's far too near Cormac Sullivan. Sun in his eyes for the second half. Here's Richie Keeley. Nicely ahead, Trevor Giles playing it back to Keeley once more, running straight into Tomas Mannion, played back to Trevor Giles. Clever ball ahead to Evan Kelly. Racing after him is Sean Og, the player. The man from Onkaharurua is helped out there. They get it forward, but only as far as John McDermott. The towering, imposing figure in midfield for Meath. Fisted back down this time by Gary Fahy. Declan Meehan. Paul Clancy can't hold it. Graham Geraghty's about, but it's gone out over the sideline. And a sideline ball is the decision. And Kevin Walsh is ready to come back into the action, which should mean a rapid return to the sidelines for Sean O'Donnell. Yes, it'll be Sean O'Donnell who goes off. Galway blessed to have so many really strong, tall men around the middle of the field. This kick is gathered in here by Kieran Fitzgerald. Challenged by Ray McGee, needing support. They get it out as far as Shonald the player. Walsh is back in there again. Here he is. Oh, there's loads and loads of Meath players there. Darren Fay winning the race quite comfortably. Getting it away from Derek Savage. Right down the throats of the Galway backs once again. Ollie Murphy trying to get it in. Progress impeded. And Jamal Spanian is fouled as he was going to take the ball up that time inside the 13-metre line, and the referee having a word there with Evan Kelly. And Evan has got a yellow card.
Yes, I think Evan is annoyed actually that Ollie Murphy didn't get a free in that time. I think he considered that Ollie Murphy had been tripped and probably voiced his displeasure to the referee.
It's a very tense match. Oh, Richie Fahim needed assistance there, got it from Jamal Spanian. Such an assured performer, so steady. Kieran Fitzgerald, one of the top players this year. Tommy Joyce, deep as ever. Cormac Murphy after him, into the two-man inside forward line. Cormac Joyce getting possession, taking it by, but then losing it. Back towards Derek Savage it comes. Foul coming in, and it's a free in. Appeals by Richie Keeley. But the referee has decided it's a free in to Galway, and a really good point-scoring opportunity. Well, John McDermott has made his way back onto the goal line. He's the only one going in there to assist Cormac Sullivan. I think they're all fairly certain that this is going over the bar from Pádraig Joyce. Tight enough angle, mind you. Should suit a left-footed kicker. And it certainly does. It's Galway who go back in front once more. Joyce has now kicked a third point. 8 points to 7.
Yes, indeed, and Galway are showing a way more urgency again in the second half than Meath are. Meath just seem very, very, tied to the ground today. There's a malaise there today that we haven't seen throughout the summer, and the influential players that they have are not making any impact on the game.
Ollie Murphy got to get some treatment there. I can't help wondering whether or not the worst thing that could have happened this Meath team was their huge victory over Kerry. Everybody then telling them they simply had to win this final. I know Sean Boyle would have tried to get their feet firmly on the ground, but that's bound to have been difficult. Galway combining well at the back. Nice play. There's a Galway player down injured, and it is Kieran Fitzgerald. And the umpires have called the referee across. Very shortly, by the way, Meath are about to make the choice that I think Colm O'Rourke was predicting. Graham Geraghty's been called aside by the referee. Could be another card here. Paddy Reynolds is being prepared. That's a yellow card for Graham Geraghty. So Paddy Reynolds will be coming in very, very shortly. His ability to scrap and fight hard will be so sorely needed. Well, there is the substitution. Paddy Reynolds on, Ollie Murphy forced out.
That's a huge blow to Meath, actually, if Ollie Murphy's gone off. He must have injured something very badly if he's been forced to take a complete break from the game.
He has to be injured. You wouldn't take him off at an All-Ireland final. He's such a valuable forward. So too is Derek Savage. Good work by Mark O'Reilly. Donlan playing it inside for Pádraig Joyce. Good steadying effect here by Joyce. He's at his most expressive. He has kicked a fourth point. Galway are dominating and lead by 9 points to 7. All those chances, all those opportunities were bound to pay off. What is the response of Meath, who have a never-say-die approach about them in their football? We've only got 10 minutes gone in the second half. Paul Clancy dragged down, free to Galway, wants to take it himself. outside of the left boot for Derek Savage. Savage hasn't scored. O'Reilly's gone out to mark him once again. Savage makes a good angle, but can't direct it on target.
All the Meath players seem to be waiting around for something to happen. There's a huge transfer of responsibility from one to the other. Nobody is taking the game with the scruff of the neck. Trevor Giles has had a very quiet game from whom you expect so much. And Ollie there getting treatment at the moment seems to have something wrong with his hand, actually, or his arm.
They'll be hoping to get him back in as fast as possible. John McDermott freeing it there to Cormac Murphy. Towards Ray McGee. Spills on here. McGee. Great block down there by Kieran Fitzgerald, playing wonderfully well at number 2. Here's Tomas Mannion. Galway, who lost to Kerry in last year's All-Ireland final. Don't want to make it 2 in a row. Graham Geraghty will have to give leadership up front, but this time he's kicked it well to the left. And that was a really good point scoring opportunity. This was the block down here moments ago by Kieran Fitzgerald, who's one of the players of the year.
Yes, he's made some difference since he's come into the Galway team after their defeat in the first round against Roscommon.
Galway, who might have beaten Kerry in the first match last year, well beaten in the replay. Joe Bergen figured in those matches. Tommy Joyce inevitably darting right through. Cormac Murphy's after him. It's quite a duel. Inside towards Joe Fallon, but one instead back there by Mark O'Reilly. Steady as you like. Nigel Crawford drops it down. Tommy Joyce can pop this one over. Good point scoring opportunity, but he has fluffed it really, really badly. It's Tommy Joyce's 18th championship match. To date, he scored 16 points. McDermott trying to win this Meath kick out, but again it's Kevin Walsh who takes it down. A really important figure in this Galway team. Walsh looking for Cormac Joyce, again taking Darren Fay out of position. Fay, like Mick Lyons before him in the number 3 short, would love to be under the dropping ball. Galway are clever, they're doing well, and it's inside here, and Meehan came so close to getting a second All-Ireland final goal, having been fed the pass inside by Derek Savage. Another let off for Meath. Well, you remember Declan Meehan's great goal last year against Kerry in the replay. Here he was popping up, and Sullivan did well, and it's going to be a 45.
That was such an opportunity for Declan Meehan, but great goalkeeping from Cormac Murphy. But there was a number of Galway players that time queuing up to get the ball. They're pulverising Meath everywhere except on the scoreboard.
Meath are about to bring in John Cullodan as well, goal scorer against Kerry. They need all their big guns. Michael Donald's saying to a referee that Paddy Reynolds has not back the requisite distance. Can he put it over from here? He's put it away to the right. Many mistakes been made all over the field. Richie Keeley's going off the Meath team, and it's John Cullodan who's coming on. John O'Mahony hoping that his side can hold on to their 2-point lead and indeed extend it. So Keeley off, and on comes John Cullodan from Drumree. McDermott going up there, almost Australian ruled style. Down to Trevor Giles. It skips in along. Lots of pressure, and it's gone wide. John Cullodan was coming in after that one, but a very composed-looking Gary Fahy, the Galway captain, had the situation under control. So a low enough scoring All-Ireland final. After 50 minutes of this match, Galway have made 24 scoring chances to Meath's 12. Meath need an awful lot more, but still only 2 in it. That's a terrible kick by Trevor Giles. Galway have a chance to win it back here. Dragged down here is Paul Clancy. And the referee is issuing the card, the red card. It's to Nigel Nestor, who was booked already. It's a second yellow card, and Meath are down to 14 players. Just over 15 minutes gone in the second half. Nigel Nestor is sent off, dragging down Paul Clancy here. He's done it once too often in this match, and the referee said, off you go. It was tough already. It's even tougher now on Meath. But how often in the past have 14 men beaten 15 in a major final? We've all seen it before. Now it's up to the men in green and gold. Galway putting up a ferocious challenge to them. Donald Curtis furious with the referee. And for his protestations, his team are penalised an extra 13 metres. This is now very, very kickable for Porrick Joyce. Gets a little pat on the head from his brother, Tommy Joyce, as if to say, wish you well. Put it over the bar. Edge of the exclusion zone. 30 metres out. Very, very light breeze at this stage, blowing over his right shoulder towards the left. It's an important one, and he has got it. He's put it over the bar. It's 5 points now for Porrick Joyce. And he's made it 10 points to 7.
Well, there's a position Meath have been in often, like down to 14 men with 15 or 20 minutes to go. And I certainly think in this case, the ultimate test can put up to them. That was a tremendous block by Michael Donlan and Darren Fay with that clearance.
So Meath having to play the remaining minutes of this match with 14. They'll have played the last 20 by the time we get to the 70 with 1 man less. That was Porrick Joyce coming across there. Paddy Reynolds kicking it back in. Riley. Darren Fay. Towards John McDermott, but it's gathered instead by Kevin Walsh of Galway. Holding up the play. Ja Fallon. Back to Walsh. Good ball to Porrick Joyce. It's a clever ball. It was right in front of him. Gave him a decent chance. This on his right side. And he has kicked this one. And he's put it over. 6 points for Joyce. Showing that he's equally accomplished on his right-hand side. But I think it was the quality of the passing that made it all happen.
Yes, a quick, crisp pass from Kevin Walsh into Porrick Joyce, who incidentally has been marked by Mark Riley, which surprises me. Darren Fay had a good game on him in the first half, but this time with his right foot scores a very good point. He's having a marvellous game in the second half from play.
He's had 11 shots at the target. He's scored 6 times. Evan Kelly for a Meath side with only 6 points to their credit, following their fascinating win in the semi-final against the defending champions Kerry. Cormac Murphy up among the attackers. Back once again towards Paddy Reynolds inside here. Nigel Crawford, great block down. Still the opportunities for Trevor Giles, and Giles has kicked it wide. And I think an awful lot of the Galway followers here right now, with just over 16 minutes to play, are probably thinking Meath don't have it in them this afternoon. This was Nigel Crawford, and that was where it was blocked down really well, and Kevin Walsh back there helping out.
Yes, but there are so many Meath players off colour today. It's amazing, like for an All-Ireland final. I think too many of them maybe believe the hype and what was spoken about, arising from the victory against Kerry.
Cormac Murphy challenging for this one. It reaches Paddy Reynolds. Nicely taken down by Sean O'Dwyer. Is he to win another All-Ireland medal? Early stages yet as Kieran Fitzgerald takes it forward. Meehan coming onto it. The attack-conscious number 5, Derek Savage. Plenty of players waiting for it to come their way. Porrick Joyce again on his right-hand side, by Reynolds this time, by John McDermott, and over the bar. It's an excellent spell for Galway. And Porrick Joyce is coming good in the second half. A little tentative in the first. He's finding his confidence, he's finding the target. and he's found his best form. It's 12 points to 7.
Yes, a lovely piece of interplay again, and a great finish with his right foot by Pádraig Joyce, having a super second half.
Graham Geraghty. Remember, it's a Meath team missing the injured Ollie Murphy. Into Paddy Reynolds. Knocking it in well. And that is kicked over the bar by the substitute, John Cullinan. His first chance, his first score. It's a vital one. It means there are only 4 between them. And we've talked so often in the build-up to this, in many discussion places everywhere and anywhere, about Meath's capacity to get goals. This man got a goal the last day. Today, it's a point. One decent chance for Sean Boylan's team, and you never know what might happen. We've seen Galway now miss 2 goals.
Yes, but the main goal-a-door, so to speak, on the Meath team is on the bench at the moment and don't look to have it in them today to score a goal. But again, maybe they're famous last words.
Declan Meehan pursued by Graham Geraghty. Great pace, lovely control, nice action. Down to Savage. Inside to Paul Clancy. Held off the challenge well. Good pass, Pádraig Joyce at the receiving end, and the umpires look and decide it's another one for Pádraig Joyce. It's his 8th of the match. It's some display now by this wonderfully talented footballer. It's 13 points to 8. Cormac Murphy is about to be replaced, but first let's look at this again. And if you're watching it in Ayr Square or any part of Galway, you'll revel in this.
Well, he's absolutely oozing class and authority at the moment. He's had some tour de force over the last 10 minutes or so. Tremendous display, but again, I said, it's surprising that Darren Fay isn't picking him up.
Now Kelly's in, Cormac Murphy is off. Wasn't necessarily Cormac Murphy's type of game. Tommy Joyce just went everywhere and anywhere, barring to the dressing rooms. It's won back by Paddy Reynolds. He'll have been disappointed enough not to have started this match. Good ball down. Here it comes again. John McDermott's around, and the referee's giving a penalty. It's a penalty to Meath. Kevin Walsh being spoken to by the referee, and Michael Collins was emphatic.
Yes, that was a very cheeky and perceptive pass by Graham Geraghty into John McDermott that time, and probably he made the most of it in earning the penalty, but I think it was a correct decision by the referee.
The point is, Meath have so many leaders. They've only got a short amount of time to go, about 12 minutes, but they're well capable. Trevor Giles is going to kick this. Crucial. 5 points between the teams. Maximum concentration. Against him, Alan Kane. "23.5 minutes into the second half. This to give Meath some real hope. Giles has put it wide. Oh, an amazing miss. They will feel it's their day, surely after that.
Well, it sums up his day for them. There's days simply nothing goes right for you, and maybe this is one of those days for Trevor. Remember in 1996 he scored the goal against Mayo, down in the same goals. This time just a little cheeky pass from Geraghty, and okay, 2 or 3 of them went around it, but John certainly did a little bit of a dive there. Got the penalty but missed it, and maybe there was justice in that.
It's a bad miss. Kane kicking deep to midfield. McDermott rising again. They feel they still have a chance. Lost by Hank Traynor. Here comes Paul Clancy. Nice solo, good control. It might have been a goal at the other end. It's a point for Galway. It's looking like their day. 10 minutes still to go. Everything is going right for Galway, but then they have been the more dominant force. They've created so many opportunities, a total of 29 chances so far, and they've taken 14. Sean Boylan must be bemused. O'Mahony, composed. At least he looks like he is. Sure he's not. Mark O'Reilly coming out to deny Paul Clancy on this occasion. They work it out here. Nigel Crawford, and that was Derek Savage going in, but committing the foul. They want to get it ahead quickly. Niall Kelly, big one in. Evan Kelly. They lose it again, Meath. Everything is going nicely for Galway. They may have lost the hurling final. They may have lost the minor hurling final. Are they to win the football? Ja Fallon contesting furiously down there with Donald Curtis, a little too furiously. Quick look up to the gods, but it's a free to Meath. Late challenge there by Pádraig Joyce on Mark O'Reilly. Ray McGee now, but he's very, very deep. Michael Donlan pursuing him. They go for the big one from Darren Fay. They need a goal here. But again, good defending by Galway, and it's Richie Fahy who has it. Brother Gary calling for it, and they work it out to Tomas Mannion. About 9 minutes left. Great burst ahead. Oh, it was Declan Meehan who was trying to knock that ball invitingly inside in towards Derek Savage, but it's going to be a line ball for the tribesmen.
Yes, and any time we have an attack now, they're resorting to just pumping the ball, hopefully, into the Galway defence, but who are coping admirably with anything that's coming in. And Kieran Fitzgerald seems to be the extra man, doing very well actually with any ball that's there. And Tommy Joyce also is manning position in front of this full back line.
Pádraig Joyce will kick this. Score of 8 points in this final, and that one has gone astray. We're facing the reality now, Martin, that Meath don't just need one goal, they frankly need two.
They need two, but there's nobody at the moment seems to be on top of his game to actually get those goals. And then, you know, all through the game, they're having difficulty in getting primary possession around the middle of the park.
Galway have been the better team. Kevin Walsh here, laying it off beautifully. Bergen has support. Does he need it? Well, he composed himself, but you can see even at this stage in the game, when you'd expect Meath to be putting in the big strong finish, it's actually Galway who are still continuing to dominate and to threaten the Meath goal.
Yes, and what's unusual actually is the body language. A lot of the Meath players out there, the heads seem to have dropped. Nobody seems to be able to provide the leadership today. It's just one of those days maybe that can happen in a team, and I'd say an awful lot of it is because of what happened in the semi-final against Kerry. Too many of them, I think, thought they had only to come up here today and accept the cup.
It certainly gave John O'Mahony a great incentive to wind up his players. He's done that. Mr. Perfection. Darren Fay challenged by Ja Fallon. Still the eager Beaver Galway players, and they managed to win a free in, and the referee is calling aside Donald Curtis on this occasion. He's been ticked earlier on, so this is probably going to be another yellow card. It is. I can't help feeling, I've probably said it already, but the worst thing that could have happened to this Meath team was to have trounced Kerry.
Oh yeah, very much so. Because it's certainly, if you come into a game where your attitude isn't right, and when you see a team having a way more urgency than you, it's very hard to actually go and, you know, redirect yourself halfway through a game. You must be right beforehand, or else it's impossible to change course halfway through.
So Curtis, the guilty party there, as we saw in reprise, and it's now Pádraig Joyce once again. His confidence has to be sky high. His team leading by 6 points. Just over 6 minutes remaining. He has stretched it even more. Galway lead by 7. Surely now they cannot lose this final. It will be the greatest comeback ever by any Meath team if they get back, even within a point or two. 15 points to 8. Well, some of the Meath fans, I think, have decided that it is all over. There's a push on Darren Fay by Pádraig Joyce. Some of them leaving, as you can see in the background. Alan Kearns there. He'll be disappointed not to have started the match, but is he to win an All-Ireland medal? The battle for Sam continues. Evan Kelly jinking run inside to Ray McGee. Fed ahead, but it was a real hopeful punch ahead, hoping that somebody might profit. Nobody did. It's Michael Donlan, great footballer and runner out of midfield. They just want him to hold it up. Derek Savage can't. Joff Allen can. Still support right and left of him. He's tripped. Meath look a very tired and almost dispirited team. Foul there was by Donald Curtis. Meath down to 14 players since the 15th minute of the second half. Nigel Nestor sent off. Still they check the watches. I make it 4 minutes to go, plus perhaps a little bit of stoppage time. Looking good for John O'Mahony. Boric Joyce belting this one, but he's belted it away to the right. That is now a total of 13 whites for Galway against 7 for Meath. But Galway have been much the more dominant factor.
Yes, and the stretch credibility to expect Meath to play as well today as they played against Kerry the last day, but certainly none of it expected them to be as quiet and to be as off-colour as they were.
They've only scored 8 points. Missed a penalty. Declan Meehan, he's in again. Duprere is alongside him. Wisely, I think he put it over the bar. That's his first point. But it's interesting that Sean Duprere was backing him up just in case a pass came his way, and a goal there, we might as well have blown the whistle.
Yes, and we said before the game that if the Galway half-back line was dominant, Galway would win it, and they've been outstanding throughout, as it had so many other lines in the team. But that time either Sean Og or Declan Meehan, who eventually scored it, could have found the range.
It's Galway by double scores. Trevor Giles. Good play back there by Galway's Tommy Joyce, helping out his back line. Now they just need to hold it, maintain their position of dominance, and surely the cup is theirs. This is Galway's 8th match in the championship. They're going for their 9th All-Ireland title. They have one more than Meath. Evan Kelly easily going by the challenge of Sean Duprere. Michael Donlan's back goal side as well. They've got to go for a goal here, Meath. Nigel Crawford partly blocked down by Joe Bergen. It's inside there. And the final shot is by Hank Traynor. Alan Kane coming, collecting, looking convincing. Kieran Fitzgerald out towards Paul Clancy. Dragged down. Utter frustration from Meath. 2 minutes left.
Well, for a team whose aspirations were in ashes last June after the defeat against Roscommon, this has been some performance by both the Galway team and their management to get back to this level. It's been a super performance from them, and a wonderful summer coming through the qualifiers to come on and win this All-Ireland.
Yes, it's Galway who are going to be the first team ever to have lost a provincial championship match, lost at the semi-finals, to come back and win the All-Ireland, and Meath with only 2 points in this second half. A really disappointing display by the Royals on this occasion. This is John Cullen on. There'll be 2 extra minutes played. Meath need about 22. Hank Traynor brushed aside, and Galway stand defiant back in their own back line. Galway have made 34 scoring chances, Meath 16. It's one very telling statistic. Galway have been vastly superior. Towards Savage, who is holding back Mark O'Reilly. Another change by Meath about to be made. Ray McGee is going off, and Adrian Kenny will come in to sample the All-Ireland final atmosphere. Belted in by Graham Geraghty, but you could see from his demeanour as he was hitting that one in, he knows the game is up. We are now almost into time added on for injuries. We are now. There are 2 minutes to go. Galway are poised to win the Sam Maguire Cup. And apart from one blood substitution, Galway did not use a sub throughout this match. They've been happy with the 15. Why not? Heroes all. They've had a cohesiveness and a togetherness which has been most impressive. Derek Savage. Boric Joyce for Ja Fallon. Should be Cormac Sullivan's, but it's in the sunshine and he does well. I believe Alan Kearns might be given a very, very late run. Here comes John Cullinan once again. But Galway using their numerical superiority. They've had that extra man in defence. I gather for the last minute of this match, Joe Bergen is the one who'll make way, and Alan Kearns will come in. That way he will have won his All-Ireland football medal on the field. John O'Mahony about to make the late change. So Joe Bergen off, no fault of Joe Bergen's. He played really well. They all played well. In fact, you could take off anybody right now.
Well, indeed, and it's nice to see a bit of sentiment in sport. And I'm delighted John O'Mahony gave Alan Kearns a run here, because he'd been so effective for them in so many games during the summer that it's great that he got on the field for an All-Ireland final to win his All-Ireland medal.
Kieran Comer is coming on as well, and Tommy Joyce going off. They have it won. Only a matter of seconds now. Michael Donlan breaking it down. Jinking his way in there was the substitute Alan Kearns. Referee awarding the free. It's quite a tired-looking Meath team this afternoon. They've looked leaden-footed for most of the 70 minutes. Never really seemed to have it. Boric Joyce, it's only shooting practice at this stage. He has kicked 10 points in this All-Ireland football final. It is all over, and Galway are the Bank of Ireland All-Ireland football champions for 2001. A game without any goals. Galway had a couple of chances. Meath had a penalty. Meath also lost Nigel Nestor with 20 minutes of the match remaining. But in spite of all of that, there was one team really up for it today, and they were the men from the West, the first ever side to be beaten in a provincial championship match, to go on and lift the Sam Maguire Cup. But there was no doubt about this. Galway were vastly superior, winning in the end by 9 points. They were worth every bit of it. And John O'Mahony has done it again. Any team he works with, he seems to be able to work the oracle. He's done it twice now with Galway. And what a celebration they're going to have here in Dublin, and I'm sure all over County Galway. This was their day. Joe Bergen just came off for the last minute or two, but what a great young talent he is. What a great job done by the backroom team. People like Stephen Joyce and Pete Warren, and I mentioned John O'Mahony, well supported by everybody in Galway. They've come, they've won. Sean Boylan, ever the gentleman, offering his congratulations to John O'Mahony. It's a day for winners, it always has been, and there was only one winner today, and that was Galway. Full-time score, Galway 17 points, Meath 8. And it certainly was a wonderful day to be a supporter of the maroon and white. They lost the hurling, they were so disappointed, but the footballers took on the challenge and they've won. And down by the sideline right now, I think we've got both managers, and they're in conversation with Dara.
Yes, both managers here with me, Ger. First of all, John O'Mahony, congratulations. Can you put into words how you feel?
It's a fantastic feeling. It's it has been a long year. We've had narrow shaves, but I mean it's a fantastic feeling to win here. But I'd like to pay tribute to Sean and the Meath lads as well. I mean, I suppose one of the reasons we've won is that we pay them so much respect in the sense of what they have done, and today is our day, and I have no doubt that they'll be back again.
How did you control it so much?
Well, it's funny. I mean, we said at half time that really there was, usually a game doesn't open out in the first half, but in the second half, we felt at half time that the shadow boxing was over and it was about to take the game on, and luckily we got those few scores and the gap that made the difference and the few breaks against when they had the man sent off or whatever, and we kind of grouped very. But I'd like to pay the highest tribute to all of the squad of 29 players and everybody involved really in the backroom team. They were magnificent, and the way that we've seen all of Ireland on this campaign, and it's great to finish here on the last Sunday in September, the second last Sunday, with the Sam Maguire Cup, and it's brilliant to be going back to Galway with it.
Well done, John. Thank you very much. I want to bring Sean Boylan in. Sean, a very difficult time for you. What went wrong out there?
Better team won there on the day. They were more hungry for it than we were. They had better football than we did. Seemed to get a lot of breaks, and success was theirs. And no better man than the tribesmen, no better man than John to train, hasn't prepared well. On the day we just weren't good enough.
How worried were you coming into this game, Sean, about the victory over Kerry and how convincing it was and how hot favourites you were?
Well, I suppose we were on a hiding to nothing, but that's the way it goes, Darren. No excuses, Darren, none whatsoever. Best team won on the day.
Okay, Sean, thank you for talking to us. Thank you.
Well, it was 6 points apiece at half-time, but in that second half, Galway really turned on the style. They scored 11 points against just 2 for Meath. And so it's Meath who go in to receive their medals first of all, the runners-up medals. Martin, no doubt about it. Galway, much the better team.
They were irresistible, to be honest about it, Ger, in particular in the second half. And I thought Corey Joyce put on a tour de force, and the 8 points he scored, most of them from play, were of the highest quality. And again, in the first half, he had a problem maybe, with Darren Fay, but the adjustment that they made at half-time and putting him on to the physically smaller player, Mark O'Reilly, made a big difference. And remember, he would have played with Mark O'Reilly in Tralee, probably knew Mark O'Reilly's game very well, and probably knew in his heart and soul that he could beat him, and certainly that's what happened. But most of the good work was done by Galway in the middle sector of the field. Backline outstanding, midfield won everything. Young Bergen had a great game, particularly in the first half, and other players were off colour. But there's a way more urgency and basic hunger about Galway today. Their fitness levels were superb, and they caught Meath, I think, on the back foot. Meath believed far too much of the hype that was written and spoken about them, and came in with a defective attitude.
You've got to win it on the field, you can't win it in the newspaper predictions. John O'Mahony did it. He is some manager. He's done it with Mayo, he's done it with Leitrim, and he's most emphatically done it with Galway. So once again the presentation's been made out on the centre of the field. Crowd's very disciplined. It's congratulations all around. But now it's the turn of Gary Fahy, the Galway captain, their number 3, to come and take the cup. The Sam Maguire Cup is going to Galway. It's the county's 9th All-Ireland title. They're 3rd in the league, as it were, behind Kerry and Dublin. They are the champions for 2001. Everybody wanting a piece of the action. Alan Kane, who was something of an inspiring choice of goalkeeper by John O'Mahony. And everybody else wants to get their hands on the cup as well. A proud moment. The most famous trophy, I think, in Irish sport. Everybody wants to get a touch. Michael Dublin there, Sean McCaig making the presentation, Gary Fahy about to say his word of thanks as well.
Yes, and fantastic to see Gary getting this. Gary's been playing an awful long time, the most experienced players on the Galway team, and he's been a wonderful servant of the county, a gentleman to his fingertips, hugely determined and certainly led from the back today.
Words can't express how I feel. I want to pay 3 cheers to a very gallant sporting Meath team, great Meath team. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! A lot of people come up here and use this as a tagging session. I'm going to do the same. To everybody out there, here and across the world, who wanted Galway to win today, I thank you. I thank you with Sam McGuire.
It's been a wonderful year in Gaelic games, so many wonderful matches, memorable performances.
I don't know this, but Galway have had 2 captains this year. Kieran Cormac Curfin, and I want him to come down to say a few words. Just 1 or 2 short ones.
I'd just like to say well done to everyone involved, and especially the lads for playing such a fabulous game. And I'd like to thank all you supporters as well for showing up in great numbers. Thanks.
Lovely moment. It's the end of a great football adventure for Galway, for Meath, and for all of us. We really have enjoyed it.
Have a great night. Have a great week. Have a great year. Bye.
Galway takes Sam, Tip took the hurling, and we've had an awful lot of fun. Hope you've enjoyed it as well. And people refusing to leave the terraces because they want to savour the moment. And it has been a great moment.
Yes, and the last time actually Galway received the Sam Maguire was on the steps of the Hogan stand, and I remember that time there's a memorable shot of Declan Meehan crying as the cup was being presented, but this time he was on the field. Ironically, his brother Thomas wasn't on the first 15, but he had a super game from wing back, has had a marvellous season, and going forward all the time. It's been a wonderful year for Galway and fully deserving of the victory.
Well, they lost the hurling, but they've won the football. And as well as that, bear in mind they've come back from 2 All-Ireland final matches last year. Might have won it the first time, lost it to Kerry the second time. They were never going to lose this one.
Yes, I think the memory of that defeat last year probably spurred them on and galvanised them this year. They were way more determined than Meath out there today. They seemed to go out there and just say to Meath, we're not going to come out here as losers today. And they applied themselves way better than Meath from the first whistle. We were saying at half-time maybe they had missed so much that they were going to actually maybe go home disappointed. But in the second half they upped the ante even further, and there was no response from Meath. They did to Meath today what Meath did to Kerry in the semi-final.
I feel that the good old fields of Athenry are going to get a lash tonight.
There'll be a lot of horse throats, I think, west of the Shannon.
Is there a family called Field living in Athenry, by the way? I've often wondered about that. It's a great moment. Let's go down to the sideline, get some more comment from Dara.
Kevin, the celebrations have started already. It must feel absolutely amazing. It was an awesome performance.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But as John and I said all year, it's 20-man effort. And when the 15 men were there today, every single man lifted up the head and worked for each other. And that's the difference at the end of the day. So we're delighted.
And you won it convincingly with 10-11 wides.
We won it very convincingly in the end, yeah, but I suppose the Derry match really stood to us because it was the first time we were asked questions, and we bounced back, and I think we were 4 or 5 points down with 12 minutes to go, and it really did bring some belief into us, and the boys just kept going in the end.
Just how much has this team come on after your defeat against Roscommon, because you're the first backdoor winners now?
First backdoor winners, yeah. I suppose it'll be a sweet All-Ireland for years to come, because we had a long road around the back road, the back door, and the team was coming on all the time. But as I said, even our man here to give us a scare, 13 points to 12, and I suppose that's why we didn't put the head down today. We were so much ahead, we kept banging away, and we won it convincingly in the end.
How much in the build-up to this did Kerry's defeat and their big defeat against Meath figure? And some people said all Meath had to do was turn up here today and win it.
Yeah, but I don't think Meath actually thought that themselves. Sean Boylan, I think, is 18 years there with the team, and there's no way you've got to let them believe that, But with all due respect to Meath, I think that Kerry did flop on the day, and a lot was down to the performance Meath put in as well. But every manager knows you're only as good as you're going to be let play, and I don't think Sean Boylan would have put them out that friend mind.
Hugely disappointing for Galway people 2 weeks ago here, losing the hurling. You were in 2 finals, you've won today.
It's a great year for Galway, and especially Alan Kearns there. Delighted to see him coming on there, and he's a middle now after a massive year for him, and he also on the year, I mean, he picked up vital breaks for us, right breaks for the year, and he's a great fella. Delighted for him.
Well done, Kevin. Enjoy your day. Thank you. Cheers. Well done.
See you tonight, get up.
So there you have a wonderful scene if you're a Galway follower. Most disappointing for me this afternoon. They never really got off the blocks. Galway were the All-Ireland champions, the winners, and very deserving winners.
The statistics from that game, if you're interested in those kind of things at this stage of the match, down here under the canal end of the pitch, the Galway team are coming towards us, and they have been waylaid by their supporters down here. Gary Fahey and his colleagues. There is the rule that you're not supposed to come on the field here, of course, from the supporters' point of view, but a couple of hundred, as you can see just down the bottom left of your picture, of the Galway supporters have come onto the field here and are congratulating their heroes of the afternoon. Actually, Eamon Horan and his news crew are down there in the middle of that someplace doing a little piece for tonight's news. One of the most interesting things, actually, Tony Davis, at the end of the match, you were pointing out in the excitement of the situation, Tomas Mannion and Kevin Walsh actually exchanged jerseys with each other.
I don't know what kind of thing they have going between them, but they probably have something going between themselves coming into the game. But terrific play by Galway, absolutely outstanding. Pádraig Joyce, and All-Ireland is a place for something special to happen, for special footballers to show what they can do. And Pádraig Joyce was just absolutely colossal. 5 points from play, 5 points from free. And when they were in trouble, he did all the right things in the second half. Great day for Galway. For Meath, Colin, I think I'll hand over to you for Meath.
Well, I suppose it never happened for me, but you know, I make no secret of the fact I'd love to have seen Trevor Giles, my good friend, lifting the cup, but like it was an annihilation. Like it's no contest, and whatever about Meath as winners, certainly they were dignified in defeat, and Sean Boylan expressed that. Fair play to Galway, congratulations to them, they were magnificent, and I'd like to be the first to say that they were manly in their performance all over the field. They were coming into the game and supposedly complete outsiders. They've come and created history by being the first losing team to win the All-Ireland, and they give it with a fantastic display of creative football from start to finish. Some people like Declan Meehan, Joe Bergen, Kevin Walsh, Gaff Allen will remember for a long time, and whenever All-Irelands are ever spoken about, you'll always remember Pádraig Joyce, because when you want to put on a display, you put it on in an All-Ireland final, and he put it on today. So congratulations to Galway. We were obviously disappointed by the performance that Meath gave, but that's it. You know, the last day against Kerry, everybody thought Meath were world beaters, and the funny thing about it too, from a supporter's point of view, the last day everybody said it wasn't fair to Meath supporters, you know, making a sort of a laugh of Meath when they weren't passing. Well, whatever goes around comes around, I suppose, in football, and Galway did it to Meath today, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a bit of harmless fun, but fair play to Galway. Great All-Ireland winners.
All right, gentlemen, Colin, thank you very much for those thoughts. We have a commercial break to take right now, but we have more about this All-Ireland final straight after that, so do please stay with us.
On the possession of the first half as well, but we weren't using it properly. We had a few wides, but in the second half we opened up well and we started taking our scores points.
Thanks, Joe, and all your friends. Good luck.
Joe Bergen played his part in the match. I was talking to himself and his father during the week down in Mountbellew in County Galway, and he has got his All-Ireland medal once again on this Galway team. Gentlemen, let's look at today's match in the context of some of the incidents that, although I suppose in fairness, Colin Burke, there wasn't any particular incident that would have changed the course of the game.
Not really. I suppose the penalty could have brought Meath into it, but you know, you have to say this was a total annihilation. And if Galway had to take their chances the first half, you know, you could have been looking at one of the most comprehensive defeats in an All-Ireland final, and you really couldn't anticipate that ever happening, because whatever you would think about Meath, you would think that they would fight hard and that they would be right in it up until the last 5 minutes. Today it just didn't happen. None of the players fired. Most Galway players outplayed their marker, and that was all over the field from full back to full forward. Total, absolute annihilation of a team that you would consider had to be in it right up to the end.
Yeah. But also at the beginning of the second half there was one or two incidents that I suppose if you wanted a little tonic right at the start of the second half for you, Meath did get that. A great save by Cormac Sullivan, Tony.
Yeah, Meath needed to start very well in the second half because Galway had the whole lot of the possession in the first half but didn't take their scores, and I'm sure at half time when they came out, Sean Boylan was telling them to get stuck in from the start. Here we have a good ball in, and Declan Meehan, as he scored last year, but that was a terrific save again by Cormac Sullivan, who played very, very well for Meath all year, and again today conceded no goal. If he was a forward, quite possibly he'd have just punched it over the bar. I know he started his career in the half hour, but he was absolutely outstanding as a wing back today. He scorched that wing all up on both sides, and he was one of the best players that Galway had today.
After the tonic of the save by Cormac Sullivan, the blows started to come hard and fast. Then, unfortunately, from a Meath point of view, Colm, sending off Nigel Nestor was a major factor in it.
Yes, Nigel had been booked early, and I was saying this at half time, like there is the danger, you give away a silly book on yourself. Referee has no option. Nigel knew well what was happening there, and you know, sometimes Meath up their game when they go down to 14, but this was a day nothing went right for them after that, and Galway used the extra man well, funneled back into defence, and you know, no complaints there with the sending off. I suppose the usual problem is a player gets booked for something silly, and then the referee is left with no option but to put them off later on. But it was a very, very sporting game from start to finish.
Yeah. The Meath penalty, Tony.
Yeah. The Meath penalty or not a penalty or whichever. But
your comment was he needed a snorkel here.
Yeah, I think from all their time in the swimming pool, he took a dive there. I definitely think he took a dive there, John McDermott. They needed a goal at this stage. The game was gone from them really, but any chance they had is they needed a goal, and there he went. Klinsman, straight he went down. I think it was justice that the ball was kicked wide, which was a reflection on Meath's play overall, I thought, today. Trevor was very, very quiet today. They looked to Trevor Giles as one of the players to lift the Meath team, Graham Geraghty to lift the Meath team, John McDermott, they weren't there.
Yeah.
The players that were really playing well were all the Galway players, and it's very hard to single them out because every one of them played well today, from the goalkeeper right up to Derek Savage. They all played well, and Meath needed a leader, and it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. Ollie Murphy gone off 15 minutes from the end. We spoke before the game, we spoke about Trevor Giles, Ollie Murphy, Graham Geraghty, who just said that they wouldn't have any influence whatsoever on the game. It was Galway's day from the very start, and they deserved their victory. And in fairness to Meath, they were there at the presentation, they shook hands with everyone. There wasn't a dirty stroke in the whole game, and I think it was a good ad for football.
Yes, Colin?
Yeah, well, I think when you look at the game, Galway dominated half-back, midfield and half-forward. Absolutely every one of their men in those areas nearly had the better of every Meath man that they were on. So, like, Meath were totally starved of possession. And they also had, you know, in fairness to John O'Mahony, he had his homework done. They put a man back really in front of the Meath full forward line all the time. There was no room. But it would be an interesting study in psychology, or whoever wanted to look at, how can a Meath team absolutely devour Kerry and come out 3 weeks later and have the exact same thing done to them? You know, because if you take Galway, Meath and Kerry, there's not much between the three of them.
Sure.
And yet you have had two completely lopsided games.
Well, I suppose this is the beauty of football, isn't it, Tony Davis? I mean, if we knew the answers to all of these questions in January,
yes,
we could sort of take the year off and just give out the cup.
Well, it's a great ad for a sports psychologist because it is all in your head. Like all last week and the week before, everyone in Meath would be saying, you're going to win it handy, we're going to go to the celebrations up in Navan tonight, and we'll have a great crack tonight and Monday night, and we'll see you Tuesday or whatever. But it just isn't like that. You can tell the players, you can talk to the players, and as a player you'll say, I'm not listening to that, we have to work hard, we have to do the simple things well, but it does get through. It does get through, and it's all about hunger and temperament. Now, before the game I thought it didn't matter to Meath. They are used to the situation, and you can never question the Meath temperament. But today, it just, the will to win wasn't there. The breaks, they weren't winning the breaks, they weren't winning the 50-50s. It was one of those days when the ball fell out of the sky, it was going to fall in the Galway man's hand anyway. It just wasn't their day today.
It was nice to, you know, on a personal level, it was very nice for Jaff Allen to come back. You know, missed last year with a serious injury, struggled through a lot of this campaign. One of the nicest fellas that ever put on a jersey for any football team, and one of the great footballers of the last decade, and it was nice for him to come back, play well and be an All-Ireland winning team.
Yeah, and especially when it looked at one stage during the summer like he was going to have another disappointment, injury-wise.
Absolutely, because he went off with a bad hamstring. here in the game against Cork, I think it was.
Yeah.
Then in the semi-final he played very poorly, and he's had a lot of trouble with the hamstring, and the knee hasn't been fully right. And you'll be beginning to wonder, is this the end of Jar? Well, you know, it's great to see him back, great to see him fit and well, and great to see him finishing the match.
Another hero of the day for Galway was Declan Meehan, their wing back. He's also with us now.
Declan, easy one to start. How did you do that today?
I don't know. I think we had an advantage coming in as underdogs, and you know, you've seen it loads of times before where the underdog comes and takes like Meath did a great semi-final. So we had nothing to lose really. They were the odds-on favourites, so I think that helped us. But everyone fought hard, and you know, we knew what we had to do, every one of us. So.
What was the message at half-time? Because you dominated the first 35 minutes, had a lot of wides, and it was still level.
Well, at half-time it was 6-all, and we had a lot of wides, all right. But we just said to one another that we weren't coming in without Sam, you know, again this year. So I think that was a big motivating factor. We didn't want to just come in without Sam.
And the experience you had last year, how much of a help was that, do you think, in your mind?
Well, it's always in the back of your mind, and it meant the hunger was there all year through, you know. So we knew that Meath would put up a strong fight, but we just stuck with it. And I think like the extra man in the end helped us out when the legs would have been tiring. You know, the extra man was a big help.
Well done, Declan. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, somebody said here he still looks like a minor, doesn't he? Now, if you're a Galway person, there might even be more celebration before this night is out, because a reminder about our competition. This is for tickets for 2 people to Australia to see the International Rules Series, which take place in October. There are flight tickets, hotels, tickets to the matches, also £2,000 in spending money. The question that we've put to you over the last couple of weeks is, who is the captain of the International Rules team, the Irish team that is going to Australia this year? If you know the answer to that, you can ring these numbers. The phone numbers are there on your screen at the moment: 1550 715 161. That's the number to ring if you're calling from the Republic of Ireland. Let me just repeat that for you: 1550 715 161. And the number from Northern Ireland is there as well: 0901 063 0638. 0901 063 0638. The best of luck with that. Okay, we have some more opinions from today's match from people who've been watching the match. Let's join them now.
Felt at half time that if we keep working, that it will come. And I mean, Pádraig Joyce was probably a bit unlucky in the first half, but he was absolutely sensational in the second half. We're playing catch up all the time. No doubt about it. Better team on. No complaints.
We were hard done by here 2 weeks ago, but by God, today we got revenge.
And at the end of the day, Galway, you know.
Yeah, they deserved the Galway, in fairness today. They're a better team on today. Like,
so
that's the way it goes.
Disappointed, but next year,
hopefully, now we're back, you know.
He's gone. You think Sean Boylan's there?
I'd say
he's
so.
God.
Sean
Boylan's God.
legend.
I didn't expect him to win by so much. I thought it would be only a point or two on it. 7 points, it's unbelievable. Unreal. It's going to be a shot trick home.
Isn't it amazing? Sean Boylan is gone after all he's done for Meath over the years. Let's just talk briefly, Tony Davis, about John O'Mahony. He's brought Galway to All-Ireland's almost a third last year. That's some performance.
Unbelievable. When I heard he was going to take over the Galway team, the talent was there. Everybody knew the talent was there, but it needed somebody to come in and really put a shape. Like Galway always have, there's something funny about the Galway camp. There's always sort of infighting, and there's always all sorts of trouble going there. But he's the one man that sorted it out. And they had problems again last year in the full back line, and look what they did today. New goalkeeper like Kieran Fitzgerald, Gary Fahy and Richard Fahy. Outstanding. A great day for the Fahy family. Now, Richard Fahy, I thought, was really good inside there. The whole lot of them, a whole new full back line, a whole new goalkeeper, and a whole new attitude. Getting beaten by Roscommon, it must have been very hard to pick them up. Great credit to John O'Mahony. He's one of the best managers around without any doubt in the world.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your thoughts on this year's All-Ireland final. Time for us to wrap up then from Croke Park. We leave you just with a reminder about our nighttime programme. We're back on the air again with the Sunday game evening transmission at 9 o'clock, when we'll be looking at highlights of this match, also the minor match. And of course, we'll be naming our man of the match from this afternoon's senior final. Well, for Galway folk, they'll be going away for a celebratory drink. Colin O'Rourke is just going away for a drink. Thank you for joining us. See you later. to stay at home. Not everyone could get tickets. To stay at home. Not everyone could get tickets. But a big day nonetheless for two families that we're now going to meet up with from Galway City and from Dunsany in County Meath.
Yeah, come on down. Thank you, Matt. Right then, let's go.
As soon as we jerseys and we're on our way.
No, the jersey.
Second half, once they got going, there was no stopping it, no beating it. Marvellous side.
Well, that's how they saw it down the country. Now, meanwhile, back at Croke Park, those who were at the match had some thoughts on proceedings as well. Marty Morrissey spoke to some of them as they left the ground after the match, and we also got some comments from the losing camp.
We felt at half-time that if we keep working, it will come. And, I mean, Pádraig Joyce was probably a bit unlucky in the first half, but he was absolutely sensational in the second half.
We're playing catch-up all the time. No doubt about it, better team on, no complaints.
We were hard done by here 2 weeks ago, but by God, today we got revenge.
And at the end of the day, Galway, you know...
Yeah, they deserve the goal in fairness today. They're a better team on the day. Like,
so
that's the way it goes.
Disappointed, but next year,
hopefully now we'll be back, you know.
He's God. You think Sean Boylan's there? Oh, I'd say so. God. Sean Boylan's God. I didn't expect him to win by so much. I thought it would be only 5 to 200. That's points. It's unbelievable. Unreal. It's going to be shot 3-4.
Better team won there on the day. They were more hungry for it than we were. They had better football than we did. Seemed to get a lot of breaks, and success was theirs. And no better man than the tribesmen, no better man than John to train, had them prepared well. On the day we just weren't good enough.
Yeah, we were still in a good position at half time, you know, it was a draw match. And we were thinking in the second half, if we get out and got a run at it, we'd get straight back into it. But I mean, Galway were on a high today, and it was their day, and in the end they played better football than we did, so they deserved to win it.
We missed a penalty with a man sent off. Ollie Murphy had to go to hospital, so there's 3 incidents, plus the fact we just didn't play on the day. So there's 3 things, but I'm not going to make excuses. On the day, Galway were brilliant, no doubt about it. Everything they kicked went over the bar, and fair play to them. Today they deserved a victory. We were in the same. They lost last year, and we're in their position this year, so fair play to them.
Actually, I thought this afternoon that the Meath man there said that Sean Boylan is gone. I can now understand it properly. He said Sean Boylan is God, which is far more like it. Now, just ahead of talking to Pat Spillane and Joe Brawley about this afternoon's match, let's get in some of your comments as they've come to us by email. Michael Commons wants to congratulate Galway on their victory this afternoon. It was a wonderful display by Galway, he says. Isn't it great to see that the All-Ireland champions, the league champions and the All-Ireland club champions are all from Connacht? And where would we be without a comment on the referee? But this time it's positive. Tom Monaghan says, I thought it was the best performance that I have ever seen in an All-Ireland final. And on the subject of another man who can be proud of himself tonight, Eugene Walsh says the only challenge left for Jono is to win an All-Ireland with Mayo. Hopefully the powers that be there will give him that opportunity soon. Well, moving on to the presentation of Sam himself, Pádraig O'Connor has this to say. I thought that it was a major anticlimax after such a wonderful game of football. Having it on the pitch seriously lacks any atmosphere. Let the crowd back onto the pitch after the match to savour the atmosphere of an All-Ireland victory and bring the presentation back up into the stand where it belongs. We have a comment on Pat Spillane, of course. Seamus Bellew wants to know, as Kerry were whipped by Meath and Meath were whipped by Galway, what does he think about Ulster football, as 2 Ulster teams were unfortunate to be beaten by Galway in the championship? But to get back to Galway and to things that really matter, 8-year-old Erwin Pilkington has a question about Pádraig Joyce. What kind of hair gel was he using today, he wants to know. He was so cool. He had a great game. Yeah, well, we might ask him a little bit later on. For the moment, Pat Spillane, you were walking out from the ground after the game with me. People were saying, say something nice about Galway tonight, but you couldn't say anything else, could you?
You couldn't. Credit to Galway for an absolutely outstanding display of football. I mean, we've been saying all year that there must be 70... We know they're a good football team. And we were saying all year that they haven't given us 70 minutes of good football. They've given us 20-minute patches, 30-minute patches. You were always saying it was in them because they're good footballers. And they played in the second half today. I mean, a bit like their victory over Kildare, where they upped their performance so much in the second half. That was a tremendous performance. And, you know, it's very difficult to analyse it. I mean, in a way, pace, they were much faster, they were sharper, they were hungrier, their movement was good, and like the forward movement was brilliant. But I think one thing we forget about this Galway team, I think you have to give them credit this year. I think defensively they have become very, very strong, and that's defensively all over the field. They've adopted a lot of Meath tactics. Once they lose possession, they harry, they chase, they close down the space. They were tremendous in that today. And I suppose, looking at Meath, it was a flat performance. It was a bit, look, all along I kept saying that semi-final victory over Kerry was a very, very false indicator. It was achieved against the Kerry team who threw in the towel. It wasn't a real indicator of form. Look, semi-finals are a bit like pre-marriage courses. They don't really give you an indication of how you will cope when the real pressure comes on. And the real pressure, the day to deliver, it's a bit like being the best singer in your bathroom. The day to deliver is on the big stage, big time, and it's Croke Park and all that on final day. You can forget about fabulous semi-final performance, quarter-final performance. That was a magnificent performance delivered by Galway today.
Joe Brawley, I suppose the scene was set for this yesterday. The Kilmacud's Croke Sevens out the road in Stillorgan that you played in yourself, and Tube Stars won that and got the weekend off from a Galway point of view to the right start, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as Pat said, analysis of the game is relatively simple because it was remarkably similar to the Kerry-Meath game. I mean, Galway came to the game ready for the battle, and Meath simply weren't ready. I mean, Galway were buzzing, their tails were up, you could see in their body language from day one. The only reason they weren't sort of well ahead by half-time was because they kicked so many wides. I mean, and yesterday at the Kilmacud Sevens, I was talking to Paul McFlynn, one of the Derry players who played against Galway, and himself and Johnny McBride were making the same point about Galway's speed. How in the last 10 minutes Galway's speed just overwhelmed them, talking in particular about Declan Meehan, Kieran Fitzgerald. These fellas, I mean, Declan Meehan today must have made 9 90-metre dashes up the field to support the forwards and then come sprinting back to his position, you know, so their stamina and their pace was something that the Derry fellas talked about, and you could see that today. I mean, they simply overwhelmed Meath. I mean, the great indication of a team's attitude is how they tackle on the day. And watching Galway's tackling today, I mean, you would have thought there were 20 Galway players on the field.
But it's also about putting the ball over the bar.
Well, it isn't, to be quite honest. I mean, Evan Kelly mustn't have been at the game at all because he said they took most of their chances. Galway kicked 13 wides today and squandered a lot of opportunities. But when they did score, we picked up. Padraig Joyce was magnificent. But watch this, all these things showed. This is alertness by Savage. Plenty composure, walks it off. Lovely dummy by Padraig Joyce onto his left foot over the bar. Again, same thing. Look, nice movement here, nice ball in front of Padraig Joyce. Turns, composure, waits, and a lovely right foot. Now, he did get a lot of space from Darren Fay. And again, lovely support. The movement was great. Watch this again. This was, I think, Joyce's best point. Onto his right foot. Now, I never saw him before, kicking with his right foot. This was a brilliant point. On the run. Again, Fay standing off him. And at the end, we've just one final one. The one we picked out, one that Padraig Joyce didn't score. And this is the movement. Look at this. Movement, support play, pace. Lovely point by Paul Clancy. I mean, that's tremendous. They were really on top in that second half. And like I said, that was the difference. Meath had a plan A. It was to lamp the ball into the two boys. They didn't get the ball into the two boys. There was great variety in their attacks. There was great movement, great pace, great flair, great support play. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah. But also, I want to pick up again with the two of you on Galway's defence, and you've both been making the point about this, that it is, I mean, people talk about Galway's forwards, but their defence this year in particular has been so good.
Well, if you look at this is the bad part of Meath's play. When they did get the ball into Ollie Murphy, it was inside in the corner, but this was great defence by Richie Fahey, with a tremendous game. Great composure, never panicked, forced Murphy into passing. Garrity fumbles the ball, and who's first into it? Richie Fahey. Tremendous. And again, watch this for a block down. Tremendous block down. Declan Meehan and Donald Curtis.
And of course the thing about it is that, as Pat said, the tackling was absolutely tremendous throughout the game. I mean, they harried and they harried, and at times there were 4 Galway men around 1 Meath man, and that's indicative of their attitude and how they approached the game. And also, I mean, they're just stupendous pace. I mean,
watch this for a tremendous block down by Michael Donnan and Darren Fay. Tremendous block.
But it was typical of the game. I mean, it got to the stage where every time a Meath man got the ball, he dropped it. I mean, they were so hesitant and nervous, looking over their shoulder, wondering where the tackle was going to come from. I mean, eventually, they were under such pressure that players like Trevor Giles, who are famous for their calmness, kicking the ball over the sideline, kicking frees to Galway men. I mean, Galway simply overwhelmed them, and there's nothing really much else you can say about the game. I mean, to pick out one Galway individual in the middle of such a magnificent performance is, I mean, it's impossible to do it. I mean, there was just one team in it. I mean, when was the last time you saw a Meath team demoralised with 20 minutes left and out for the count with no answer? And that was it.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for the moment. Now, at this point here on the programme, we're going to take a commercial break. Still to come here on the Sunday game, a look at today's minor All-Ireland final, the presentation of the Man of the Match award from the senior final, and the results of our competitions, the winners of the Sony PlayStations, and that trip to Australia to be announced. But first up, after the break, we are going to be heading to City West to talk to the people of Galway. Again to the Sunday game. Now, a little bit later on, we'll be finding out who has won that trip to Australia, sponsored by the Bank of Ireland and Abbey Travel. But we have winners all round next here on the Sunday game. The Galway team and their supporters are enjoying their victory banquet, no doubt, at the City West Hotel. And there to join them tonight on our behalf are Marty Morrissey and Ger Canning.
You're absolutely right. People are having some party here. They've had a great time. A great day. It's all gone well for them, and I'm joined immediately here by team captain Gary Fahy. I can only visualise what it's like, Gary, to be the captain of an All-Ireland winning football team. Everything just went well for you today.
An unbelievable day. I think it was summed up afterwards when I got the great opportunity to lift the cup, and the tremendous support that we had out there today, just unbelievable. I'd like to thank everybody and anybody who was in Croke Park and people watching in. It was unbelievable.
It was a great team performance. I mean, there were no weaknesses.
Well, when you win a game like that in the end, a lot of stuff, I suppose, gets glossed over. We won't look at any weaknesses today, but the manner of our second half performance, I suppose, glossed over the fact that we were under a lot of pressure in the first half. Graham Gertie especially, and Ollie Murphy to a very lesser degree. But once it's a win-lose situation, when you win, everything's fine. And I'm sure Meath are in the doldrums today in the other hotel. But that's the fact of life at this level. It's winner takes it all, and that's the way it's got to be. And we're just happy.
And the cup is going west of the Corrib.
Yeah, we had a tremendous reception today. When Sam goes back to Clannon, and there's a lot of Clannon people here tonight, I'm sure it'll be a great night.
Sure it will be. Now your team manager, of course, is John O'Mahony. John, you've made an awful lot of people happy today.
It's fantastic to be here tonight, and it's especially after last year, and I suppose losing the All-Ireland to Kerry and whatever. It's been a long year, but you know, I'm absolutely thrilled for everyone involved, and all of the players first of all, and everybody involved in the back room. It's tremendous, and it's a good feeling. I'll have to admit that, Ger.
There are rumours going around, as you know, but one of them is that you're taking out Galway citizenship. Is that right?
There have been
careful, John, careful.
There have been lots of rumours all year, but there's been a special story going on with this group of 29 players behind the scenes, working hard. We had our setbacks in losing to Roscommon. We've done a long circle around Ireland, but it's brilliant to be here tonight, and I just pay tribute to everybody involved in Galway football, players, officials, football board, everybody involved in the backroom team and everything. It's a great night and the supporters. It's a brilliant night for them, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be a part of that.
Look, even the Galway dogs and cats are celebrating. Congratulations, John and Gary. Marty.
Thank you very much, Ger. Well, when I interview this man during the summer, I always ask him to sit down. And when he comes into vision, I think you'll see why. This is the little and large part of the evening. And this fine, tall midfielder won an All-Ireland medal here in Croke Park this afternoon. Kevin, let me go back to February. And Kevin Welch in hospital going through an operation. Did you ever think that the following September you'll be back in Croke Park winning your second All-Ireland?
I suppose things didn't look great at the time, but
the reason for the operation was to get back playing. So if you want to go back playing, this is where you want to be. So it was a long shot at getting here, but especially when we got beaten by Roscommon. But just delighted to get here. Yeah.
It's been an amazing journey. It must be the only time that a team played something like 8 championship matches before winning the All-Ireland.
Well, I thought they might give out more than one medal this year, because I think we beat Derry, Cork, Armagh, Meath up here, and having to travel to Outcome. So maybe there might be 2 medals in the post, I don't know.
Were you expecting the performance today?
And we always felt inside that we could do it, but we knew that it would have to take whoever's on the field, everybody working very hard. Because after seeing what Meath had done to Kerry before that, I mean, we didn't need much action or anything else to be told what to do. That they were actually a super team, so that probably worked in our favour.
The performance this evening was awesome. Does this mean that this Galway team are going to be around for some time?
There's talks of the 3 in a row, so we'll see how it goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Welch.
All right, we'll be back there to City West a little bit later on for more from the Galway celebrations. But the first game at Croke Park this afternoon was the All-Ireland minor final between Dublin and Tyrone. Highlights from that match now with Micheál O'Shea and Marty Morrissey. For the Dubs, the replay is next Saturday, and that's in Breffni Park. Okay, it's competition time next year on the Sunday game. Now, first off, it's the last of the Sony PlayStation 2s that we have on offer this summer. Now, last week's competition asked you to identify some famous camogie players. And here they are. It's the Downey sisters. They've become a legend, of course, not just in Kilkenny, but indeed the camogie world in general. Now, from the correct entries, the winners getting the PlayStation 2s and the game packs are Eilish Kiernan from Slane in County Meath, so there's some consolation there, and Brian Sexton from Lahinch in County Clare. And the Sunday game pack winners, now that's a bag, it's a watch, a pen included there, go to Ty Corcoran from Cloughjordan, County Tip, and Francis Fitzgerald in Charleville, County Cork. Well, now at this point we come to our other competition. It's off to Oz for somebody. Now, Coca-Cola, and my apologies to Coca-Cola if I mentioned a different sponsor earlier on inadvertently. It's Coca-Cola who are the team sponsors, and Abbey Travel. They have provided travel tickets for 2, hotels in Australia, etc., and £2,000 in spending money. Now that's to go and see the International Rules Series next month. Fantastic prize, obviously. And it's time to find out who has won it. Now, from all of the correct entries, and we had thousands, the computer has drawn out a selection. Now, they have gone into the champagne bucket, which Pat Spillane has beside him, and he's going to produce it right now. We took more or less 50 from each week of the competition, 50 correct entries. Computer drew those out, put them into the bucket, and Pat Spillane would make the draw. And what's the Irish for Spillane, by the way, at this stage?
Will I give you the pleasure of
yes, that's getting yourself off the hook in case you can't read it. Okay, tickets for 2 to Australia go to Mary Maher, and she's in Dublin Road, Roscrea in County Tipperary. Mary, congratulations. Yourself, a colleague, a friend, your husband, whatever, are on your way to Australia. As I said, there's the tickets there. There are hotels provided, £2,000 in spending money. A fabulous prize, and our thanks to Coca-Cola and indeed to Abbey Travel for that. We will be in contact, obviously. Okay, right now here on the programme, it's time for us to hand back again to City West Hotel, where the Galway celebrations are in full swing. So let's rejoin Marty and Ger.
Well, I can tell you that they know how to celebrate, and they're eating a sumptuous meal here and having a great, great night. I think this party is going to go on for about a week, Ja.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's icing on the cake, really, from '98. I think there'll be some buzz around Galway for the week.
You missed much of last year with a well-documented injury, so you had to work hard to get back.
Yeah, it's been a tough year. Felt like throwing the hat at it a few times during the year, but thanks to John and Mahoney and to the team that they stuck with me and I stuck with them, and we came through, and that's why we're here tonight. It's fantastic.
The game plan worked today.
It is really. It's hard to believe, you know, with Meath's performance against Kerry a couple of weeks ago. We kind of did a Meath on Kerry. We did a Meath on Kerry today, on Meath today, whatever way you want to put it.
I think we get the message. Alan Kane is here with me as well. Galway's goalkeeper, of course. And aside from Finbar McConnell, I can't think of a taller goalkeeper. You're 6'5".
6'5", Joe, yeah. But
It has its advantages, all right, being that size of any high ball that comes into the square, so it needs to be come down to my hand. So it's been looking enough so far this year, you know.
What was the secret? 3 regular meals a day and grow like mad.
I think you'll have to ask my mother behind you there somewhere. I think the extra Weetabix or something.
It's been a dream come true for you. You didn't play in the Connacht Championship, as we know, but you've come in and done a really good job.
I got six games this year, and I might have been a lucky mascot or something. I've won the 6th of them, so it's been like in Fordham and Croke Park. Like I was just saying earlier on, like many good footballer went through the system in Galway and other counties that haven't played in Croke Park. Like, I've just been the lucky one, you know. So it's been great.
My hand is getting tired holding it up to your face, this microphone. So congratulations, Anne, Alan, and well done to Giles well.
Declan Meehan now.
Marty.
It should also be pointed out that Jeff Allen's club, Tuam Stars, won the Kilmacud Croke 7-a-side, so they are also All-Ireland champions this weekend, and well done to Tuam. Well, any manager will tell you that you start at midfield, I suppose, and then you look at your half-back line, and 2 of the half-backs join me now, and what marvellous games they produced here. First of all, Declan Meehan. Sean O'Donnell was slagging you here as you were coming up to meet me, but you were still running as you were coming up to meet me.
I don't know about that now. I'm pretty tired after today's match, but thankfully it went well enough. The second half, I think everyone with a Galway jersey played exceptionally well, so you know that was the main thing.
To produce that sort of running though, Declan, how much do you put into training?
Well, I think we all put in the same, you know. John O'Mahony is a tough taskmaster, and he ran the hell out of us for the last few weeks, so I think it paid dividends today with everyone, you know.
You must acknowledge that the speed that you go at your opponents is breathtaking to watch.
I haven't seen it. I wouldn't acknowledge that, no. I don't know.
And you almost scored a goal again.
Well, the goalie, Cormac O'Sullivan, fair play to him, was out on top of me. I think I wouldn't be great at scoring goals anyway, so I should have thrown it back to Salvo. Maybe he'd have finished it.
Well, one man beside you on that half-back line was Sean O'Dwyer. I asked the question to Kevin Welsh. Let me ask you, are you surprised by the performance today?
Well, obviously, we came up today hoping to win and hoping to put in the 70-minute performance, but if I was to be honest, I didn't think that, you know, that'd be, whatever it was, I think it was 8 points. I didn't think there'd be 8 points in it at the end. So I think, you know, it's a reflection of, I suppose, the way I think everybody raised their game, as Decky said, in the second half. You know, we were delighted.
You must have thought at half-time, though, that possibly the opportunity was gone because you were level despite dominating.
Yeah, and the fact that we were playing against the win in the second half, we had, I suppose, missed a few chances, and, you know, against Meath, you know, who are a quality team, you know, you can't afford to miss them chances. So, you know, I suppose at half-time there's a lot of soul-searching in that, but I mean, thankfully, I think everybody came up trumps in the second half. But having said that, I mean, you know, Meath, you know, credit must go to them. Like, they are a quality outfit, and, you know, they will be back.
Well, well done to Galway. Congratulations, Declan Meehan and Sean O'Dwyer. Well done, lads. Well done.
Yeah, nice words from Sean O'Dwyer there about the Meath team. And indeed, Joe Brawley, you would like to add something to that?
No, it was just sort of when I was coming out of the pitch today, I was thinking of a phrase that Adrian McGuggart from Derry used to use, you know, 1 minute, boys, you're a cockle a walk, and the next thing you're a feather duster. And I was thinking of that, you know, after the Kerry performance and then today again. And in fairness, from their point of view, I mean, everything that could go wrong did go wrong today. Ollie Murphy was sent off, and that drained them of their confidence, and the chance of a couple of goals against the run of play disappeared. A few minutes later, Nigel Nestor was sent off, and I mean, to have 14 men against Galway and playing in a mood like that just meant their situation was impossible. And I mean, I think that the most mysterious aspect of the game was the transfer of Darren Fay away from Pádraig Joyce, because in the first half, Darren Fay had the sign on him and Joyce's shoulders were down. Whenever Fay went off him in the second half, all of a sudden Joyce's chest filled out and he started to play the way we know he can, and he really destroyed Riley. And to me it was very curious. I wondered whether Fay might be injured. But I mean, taking those things in combination, I mean...
Not a great day for Meath, but generally the football championship this year, Pat.
Oh, it's been thumbs up. It's been an outstanding football championship. One of the best in recent years. I think the new format has created great excitement. It gave us some excellent matches, great exposure. Like I said, the Westmeaths and Sligos of this world, brilliant exposure. It gave the weak teams extra matches. Irrespective of no matter what system you're going to choose, the cream is going to the top. The only thing that I would say as a Kerry man, remember poor Kerry and Meath were the only two teams who didn't get a second chance, so I'm just wondering maybe they could tweak the system again next year, that at least if you get beaten in the All-Ireland semi-final, because I still think there's one big performance at that Kerry team, but it'll be next year now.
It will be next year, I'm afraid. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Well, the final item here on the Sunday game tonight is to name the man of the match from today's game. Our Waterford Crystal Trophy and his and hers watches go to the best player on view at Croke Park today. And that was a player who put in a truly inspiring performance for Galway, a sensational second half in particular, in which he scored 9 of Galway's 11 points. It was a class act from a class player, Killererden's finest, Pádraig Joyce.
Come over here so we can see you well. Congratulations, well done. I've also got Tim O'Neill here from Bank of Ireland, and this is some money for your holiday fund. You're heading for Salt Hill, I believe. Please sit down, we'll have a quick little word with Pádraig. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It was some day.
It was a great day, but our coach here was there, he's on the table, he's a few pound with me. That he reckons I've been carrying the team all year and I deserve man of the match helmet tonight.
What went wrong today because you scored with your right boot?
I think Pat Egan, our chairman, was handing out a bit of holy water for the match, and he was trying to open the top of the bottle, and I think most of us fell on my right boot, so maybe that was the incident.
10 points out of 17, you won by 9. It was a magnificent team display.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, all we're here for is that the Sam Maguire's going back home west tomorrow.
And you're going to get some reaction from fans who simply love their football. You nearly did it last year, but my goodness, you came good this year.
Yeah, we came good this year, but as I was saying before, I was probably the most disappointed fella last year when we lost the 2000 final to Kerry. But I mean, this year we made up for it, and I'm delighted I could just play a small part in the game. You know, I was maybe at half time I was looking over towards to John O. Would I see the number 14 up on the board to take me off out of the pool first half, but I made up for the second half and delighted that we won it in the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sunday game man of the match for the football final, Pádraig Joyce. Well done.
Okay, and that's where we leave it then on the Sunday game, not just for tonight, but indeed for this season. Thanks to all of you for your emails and your letters during the year, and thank you too for the many compliments. Please God, we might all do this again at some stage in the future. For now, we offer our congratulations, well, first to Mary Marr from Roscrea, County Tipperary, the winner of the Coca-Cola Abbey travel trip to Australia. We also congratulate the players of Galway, the All-Ireland champions. Good night.